What's going on? Hey, Dave, good to see ya. Who else we got here already? Sardis, how you doing this week? Hope everybody leaves a comment so we know who's here. How's everybody doing? I am stoked to be back home doing this from here and not on crappy Wi-Fi in Phoenix for sure. And to kind of celebrate that, like I said in my post today, it's going to be a big one. I'm totally fine staying late. We're going to answer a whole bunch of questions. Hope you got some stuff loaded. There's everybody. Paul's here. What's going on, Paul? Jeff's here. Mitchell's back. What's going on? Eric, I hope you're staying up to date on the watch along because, man, it was a bad week for that for me. That's for sure. Brian's here. Hey, hey. I'm sure you're putting the kids to bed here soon. Hope you're having a good week there, Brian. Thanks for that, Dave. I'm glad to be back. And we will, of course, talk about the fact that evil does die tonight. And my friend Tom is here. What's going on, Tom? Good to see you, John. Let's see. Ryan says, hope you're doing great. Mondo Macabro hurt the pocketbook today. Mondo Macabro. We're going to be talking about them as well. Ice is here. Thanks, man. You know, it's been... Don't be sorry. I was about to bring up, it's been a crazy week for those some of that art you posted, man. It is rough out there. I'm on the verge of like selling everything to get some of that art. It would be lovely to have it. They just posted one coming, I believe, on the 26th next week, and they're going to be doing a Halloween print. Might be talking about that in a little while if anybody's interested in that because it looks really good. Eric is here too. He's watching Demons 1 and 2 on the side. You know, those are perfect gateways to Italian horror, I would think. Honestly, looking back, it's been a while since I've seen both of them. I'm going to be watching 4K soon. A little hint, one of the unboxings might include Demons 1 and 2 on 4K. Those, sincerely, I don't know that there's any better intro to all of Italian horror than Demons 1 and 2. I think that there's a couple that are better for sure, but I think that's a great gateway to get people into Italian horror. Yeah. So how's everybody else doing? Again, great to be here. Happy to be back on good solid Google Fiber Wi-Fi. Like I said, going to be answering a lot of questions, go over some pickups, some conventional, unconventional. We're going to talk about some sales because there are about 83 of them happening either last week, this week, tomorrow, or soon. Eric also got the Demons 4K. Nice. Maybe Mitchell can borrow them when you're done. Yeah, John, the extras, it got me to double dip on that Synapse set. I was not going to, but there's some decent things on there. Waiting on deliveries. I totally get that, Jeff. And after being out for a week, there is a pile here to go over. I know some people see unboxings as boring, so we might save that for the end just to see what we have everybody holding out for. But in the meantime, we've got a week of announcements. It's been such a blur. I don't even remember everything I talked about last Thursday. So, yeah, those are just some of them. Mitchell says Arrow, Mondo Macabro, and Kino. There's some others going on out there as well, with more starting up early tomorrow morning. So be prepared if you're looking to spend some money. Like I was saying, don't know where I left off, so I might be doubling up on some of these announcements for last week. But we are going to get into what we've had announced since last Thursday, I think. Did we talk about New York Ninja last week? Does anybody remember? I feel like that's where we left off. Because I know Vinegar Syndrome tends to announce on Fridays when it's not the first of the month. They tend to announce around then. Speaking of, we should be getting monthly packages from Vinegar Syndrome shipped out. Probably tomorrow or the next day starting. Oh, man. Eric got 19 Kinos and 13 Criterions. That is fantastic. I'd love to hear the list of all those. I did get a Kino order in as well. Jeff says it was mentioned. Cool. So maybe I did go over that. Did we go over Indicator, or was that Friday morning when these got announced? Because the Vinegar Syndrome, or not Vinegar Syndrome, sorry, the Instagram dates are completely messed up. It says 7 days ago. I don't know who we're talking about, but what day we're talking about when that gets posted. Maximus is here. What's going on, Maximus? How's everyone weathering the sale season? Well, going into debt, that's for sure. It's been a crazy time. Don't remember if we talked about Indicator. So, oh, I talked about Hoffman as well. All right, so let's just go past the indicators. Hoffman, Girl Stroke Boy, the Blockhouse, and then the fact that, oh, the Brute as well. But the fact that they are coming to the US and Canada, that was the big deal from last week. Just hitting on that again, and a little hint for something we're about to talk about. They are not the only company coming to the US and Canada from the UK. I know. Wait, maybe we did talk about this last week as well. You know what? Yeah, we did, because we talked about how expensive it was. You're right. Mitchell says 11 Kino, 13 Mondo Macabro, and 15 plus Arrow. Man, that is awesome. I'd love to hear some of the Mondo Macabros, because I believe I've got all of their blues, but man, they have a great collection that not a lot of people talk about enough. All right, I'm going to go to the first one. Says 6 days, which would probably be this one. Yep, it was this one, because these are posted every Friday. I'm knowing where I'm at now. Whoops. All right, so just heads up, this isn't live anymore, obviously, because it's every Friday, but this is a good key takeaway to point out that this is happening again tonight. So Makeflix, they have all through the month of October 50% off Fridays. So last week, their Ultimate Edition of Skinned Alive was extremely cheap. It was only $17.49 unless you wanted the soundtrack CD. Then it was $19.99. Still comes with a wonderful slipcover, all of that. No coupon code required. Really, really great release. So if you're looking for another one of those, make sure you're watching Makeflix tonight around, I think they've been posting it around midnight Eastern, and it's going for a full 24 hours. John got 5 Kino, 3 Ronin Flicks, 3 MVD, and 3 Mondo Macabro. Spreading it out. I love it. Spread the love that way. And I got to point out, because not a lot of people are talking about Ronin Flicks the last year or so, Ronin Flicks has the fastest shipping in the world. Absolutely in the world. Anybody disagree with that? Ronin Flicks, like, I believe they ship out of, I think it's Kentucky. I think they ship from the same place as Shout Factory with Alliance, if I'm remembering right. But you can order on like a Tuesday, and it'll be in your mailbox on Thursday. Not just like out for delivery, not for, they printed the packing slip from order to at your house in less than 48 hours sometimes. It's crazy. Ronin Flicks is super fast. Dustin's here as well. What's going on, Dustin? Oh man, this is a good list. Maximus went for Mondo, Satanico Pandemonium. Love it. Lizard in a Woman's Skin and Who Could Kill a Child. Literally 3 of the best. I love all 3 of those, and I recommended all 3 of those to someone else today. Asian movie enthusiast, we're all completely insane. I'm eyeing up 20 Arrow titles. Once that sale was not region locked anymore, it became decent. So I completely get that. And don't know if you guys have seen this. Dustin is bringing up the Yokai Monster set. That set is out of print from the distributor already. If you don't have the Yokai Monster set and you see one available at retail, Amazon still had some last I checked. Orbit has still gotten a couple in. If you still want Yokai Monsters, get that as soon as possible. Eric says he got it with his Criterion order super quick. Nice. And I agree here, Ricky. Orbit is very quick, especially lately. Jeff likes how the UK labels use the word dispatch. And Dave got JSA. Nice. Bird with the Crystal Plumage and the Grand Duel. Wanted the Criterion Bruce Lee box, but my wallet said no. That's understandable. That one is still a little pricier than I think. Wow. Eric got an order in with Orbit at 913 and a tracking number at 923. That is service. And Mitchell, Lizard and Woman's Skin is a great release. Absolutely great release. For those of you that don't have it, that is one of the first 5 that I recommend from Mondo Macabro for sure. Absolutely great release, and it looks wonderful. Ryan got The Laughing Woman, The Fox with the Velvet Tail, The Wife Killer, no complaints. The Wife Killer, I believe, still only DVD. I wish we'd get a Blu-ray of that one. That's a good grab too. Fox with the Velvet Tail is not one that enough people talk about. Loving that. So back to the announcements. Makeflix, again, check tonight. they will have another one of these up, and I will post it as soon as it is live or I see it if I'm asleep. But then we got Criterion announcements. So they announced that we are getting The Piano in 4K. Interesting one. Wow, lots of spelling errors there. I'm an idiot. This is one that they are putting on 4K that I did not expect. Certainly did not expect to see this on 4K. But it's got Holly Hunter and Anna Paquin. Supposed to be a great movie. I never saw it. This is one that I am certainly interested in, and lots of good extras on here. Has anybody seen The Piano? I'm a little behind on those ones. There's too many trashy 70s movies to watch. Let's see here. This is restored 4K digital transfer supervised by the DP and approved by the director. This gets a 4K disc of the film with HDR and one Blu-ray with the film and special features. And there's some new extras on there too, so that's good. Eric says he saw it and it's pretty good. Knowing Eric's taste, that's a ringing endorsement for me. I'd agree with that. Then we are getting Dick Johnson is Dead. Maybe one of the most sought after for me out of this batch. This playful, profound, and immensely moving docu-fantasia by Kirsten Johnson as a Valentine to the director's beloved father, Dick Johnson, made as she has begun to face the reality of losing him to dementia. Using the language of cinema both to defy death and to confront it head-on, Johnson mischievously envisions an array of ways in which the man she loves most in the world might die, staging a series of alternately darkly comic and colorfully imaginative tableaux interwoven with raw verite footage, capturing the pair's tender but increasingly fragile bond. Tackling taboo questions of aging, mortality, and grief with subversive humor and surprising grace, Dick Johnson is Dead is ultimately a triumphant celebration of life and of the gentle, funny, unforgettable man at its center. Long live Dick Johnson. This one to me sounds great. It sounds like one that'll surprise me. Don't know if anybody's watched this one yet. I watched this one. Who is this? Gunpowder and Sky. One of the Vinegar Syndrome partner labels, Kid Candidate. This one, honestly, I did not expect to like this as much as I did. Really good, like snapshot microcosm of elections throughout the entire U.S. and just really well done. Nice and brief too. It's a fairly short. Let me see. It's like 69 minutes. Nice. Yeah, very short, nice, easy watch. Nothing crazy, no super dramatic moments or anything like that, but really well done. John got The Incredible Shrinking Man. Me too. Had to get it. I've been waiting for that one for a very long time. Next announcement from them was one of the 4Ks they've already announced. Hard Day's Night in 4K from the Beatles. We kind of already know all about this. We got it on Blu-ray already. This one is coming in 4K. I'm sure it'll look great. Well, I'm not sure of that. We haven't seen any Criterion 4K discs. I'm hoping it'll look great. I'm cautiously optimistic about Criterion. They've been on my crap list for the last couple of years. I'm hoping that the 4K announcements will turn them around for me. That's for sure. But A Hard Day's Night, love the Beatles. It's great. If you've never seen it, it's probably worth the purchase. And then Time is coming. This is from Criterion again by Garrett Bradley. What does the weight of time's passage feel like for a family caught in the jaws of a brutal carceral system? Both a breathtaking cinematic love story and a bruising indictment of American injustice, the Academy Award-nominated feature documentary debut of Garrett Bradley traces the decades-long quest of Sybil Fox Richardson, an indefatigable mother of 6 and a fiercely outspoken prison abolitionist, to free her husband from the Louisiana State Penitentiary. Speak. I was leading Cub Scouts right before this, and I am just out of it, I guess. Let's see. Weird. Mitchell said, let me get back to that in just a second. Finish this little synopsis real quick. From the Louisiana State Penitentiary, where he is serving a 60-year sentence for robbery. gracefully interweaving 20 years worth of Richardson's own intimate home movies with luminously expressive monochrome footage of her present day joys and struggles. Bradley crafts in Time a transcendently poetic, soul shaking look at the devastating toll of mass incarceration and one family's extraordinary efforts to stay whole. This is probably my number two most sought after out of this entire pack. I deeply invested in a lot of the stories on mass incarceration and injustice in the US. I grew up as a sheriff explorer for a few years when I was a kid, and it's one of the things that I count as keeping me out of trouble. I grew up in a very small town, so growing up around law enforcement and learning not only from actual law enforcement around me, but Boy Scouts and at the time church, but not anymore. Those sort of things kept me out of trouble because that town was a cesspool. I'm very glad to be where I am now, and I feel like my kids will get a lot more support here. That's for sure. So we're getting Time from Criterion. Back to Mitchell. He says Walmart sent me extra copies of Arrow's Kioma. One extra death. You got 3 of Kioma. One extra Death Has Blue Eyes. One extra Edge of the Axe. Not selling them. Anyone need these otherwise? They're going to the library. Look at that. Mitchell is looking to trade, give away something. Somebody contact Mitchell. I mean, those are especially Edge of the Axe and Kioma. Those are great releases. Death Has Blue Eyes is good as well, but I'd certainly recognize the other two as being, I think, the better movies. Edge of the Axe is probably not the better movie, but it's a lot of fun. Dustin got 5 blues and an Eclipse set from Criterion during the flash sale. All Japanese films. Very nice. 3 extra copies of Kioma. That is crazy. So you got 4, 5, 6. You got 8 movies when you ordered 3? That's crazy. There you go. Brian will trade for Kioma. And for the record, I know Brian bought from him before. He's wonderful. Absolutely support him. And then from Criterion, I think we're getting one more. Yep. The Celebration. This is a big one. I am digging this case. I think this is a perfect release for this. The Danish Dogma 95 movement that struck world cinema like a thunderbolt began with The Celebration, the international breakthrough by Thomas Vinterberg, a lacerating chamber drama that uses the economic and aesthetic freedoms of digital video to achieve annihilating emotional intensity. This is one that I know very little about somehow. It's just always passed me by. And yeah, this is great. Let's see. Wow, they said to keep or donate. That's awesome. That's awesome. Glad you're passing that along there, Mitchell. Yeah, I agree, Ryan. I think this is great. Next level arty goodness. I think this is Criterion returning to a good side for me, at least, on this one. Up next is Mondo Macabro. We can talk about that now. They have their Halloween sale and pre-order event happening right now. First thing is that the sale started this morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, and it's been going on since then at their Big Cartel site. They had a second website for a while, but it was buggy as all get out, so that is the one that they are using. This will include all of our back catalog titles except the 3 most recent ones that were just for now. Oh, gosh. I feel like John just posted about getting his like 6 weeks ago. Not even that, probably like 3 weeks ago. Time is a blur at the moment. So yeah, those are the ones that are not included, but everything else is pricing dependent upon how recent it is or how well it sells. In addition to a sale on the items themselves, our shipping will also be discounted. They're marking down those fees across the board with the exception of individual pre-orders for the new releases. And something that excited me, for the first time, they did 4 titles. This is the first time they've done 4. Normally they do 2 during most of their pre-orders. Sometimes they do 3, like this last one was 3. They've had a pretty good year. But this Halloween sale, they announced and are releasing 4 limited edition red case titles on Blu-ray, and they are great. And one big thing that's brand new is they are doing a bundle on all 4 of them. So I certainly suggest, if you're interested at all, get that bundle. It is on sale. I think it was 107 plus shipping, which came out to like 111 or 12, I think. And they this is a great bundle. Able to purchase with one click. Can't really go wrong with that. Sardis asked if that celebration was before Von Trier's Dogma films. I feel like it was because I looked up the same thing, but for some reason, I am not remembering at the moment. Of course, Eric got Hiruko the Goblin. That is right up his alley, I'm sure. Another Tsukamoto. And let's see, they're doing a slight discount on the reduced shipping fee if you get those. No alternate bundles, can't pick and choose, just those 4 if you want all of them. They limited the bundle to 800 copies, and the Blu-rays themselves, I believe, are limited to 12 or 1300. Pretty low. Let's see. Starting with this sale, we will only be putting 1 through 1,000 in numerical order. Any orders for a title that come in after that will be doled out randomly. And that sale is live. And the website for that, again, is right here, mondomacabro.bigcartel.com. If anybody is wanting, we can look through that site in just a little bit as well. Like I said, got a long night, happy to walk through things. And then after Mondo, we got an announcement over the weekend, and we're going to talk about this one for a few. Halloween Kills Steelbook has been revealed. This is exclusive to Best Buy in 4K, and we're going to talk about the movie. Anybody that has seen it, feel free to chime in with an opinion. One thing I want to talk about is the amount of gatekeeping that has happened in the scene this week. It has been crazy. Like, people upset that other people enjoyed this movie, or people upset that other people didn't enjoy this movie. Everybody is allowed to have an opinion. You're allowed to like what you like and not like what you don't like. But the moment that you tell other people that they can't like or not like something because you do or don't, I mean, that is borderline abusive, to be frank. It is wrong, flat out wrong, to talk to people like that. And to put that vitriol in the community is crazy. I mean, we are talking about, the trashiest, like, not to put him down, but something like, let's see, just because I joked about this with Matt Shields earlier today, stuff like Barry Gillis's Wicked World. We go crazy about this because it's out of print, and this is going for so much money now that it's ridiculous. This movie is pretty bad overall. That doesn't mean I don't love it. I mean, this is crazy. And man, Ricky, you are teeing me up for all of the points that I was going to make. This is the second thing this week that upset me. And not just because I'm actually a pretty decent fan of Rob Zombie. I am stoked that Rob Zombie is doing a movie based on the Munsters. The makeup wasn't perfect. Do I love that Sherry Moon Zombie is the main person in it yet again? No, I don't love it, but I'm still going to watch it, and I'm honestly excited for it. The fact that Grandpa has a mustache, I'm not going to go post on 30 different forums about it. It's crazy out there. Rob Zombie has a very obvious style. And yes, one aspect of his style is that his wife is heavily involved, for the most part, in everything he does. And to be honest, if I was a filmmaker, I love my wife. I'd love for my wife to be involved with what I'm doing as well. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know what else to say. The gatekeeping is insane. Anyways, I watched this last weekend. I gotta be honest, I gave it a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I need to rewatch it, and to be honest, I feel myself giving this a higher score on a rewatch. I think that first I will point out James Jude Courtney, met him in real life. He's wonderful. He absolutely has solidified himself to me as my favorite Michael Myers, I think. He embodies that character like crazy. He owns it. He is imposing, even though I know in real life I'm bigger than him. Watching him on screen, He does very well. He's got that. It's weird to say charisma as Michael Myers because he's behind a mask and silent, but he does. There's something about it that makes you want to watch him. Um, the aspect of this, I let's see the gore in this movie. I loved the gore. It was really well done, but at the same time, it didn't really fit a Halloween movie. They've never really been brutally bloody. They've never been super insanely violent, and we've got stuff going through people's eyes and everything just popping out of people's faces, and it was great by all means. I enjoyed it, but it certainly felt a little out of place. The other main thing for me is well, 2 points. One, that they left Jamie Lee Curtis in a hospital for the entire movie, and we're highlighting her in the steelbook. Even she doesn't even stand up in this movie, basically until the very end. She, if I'm even remembering right, does she even stand up? She is not even like a factor in this movie. This is just a let's look at Michael Myers movie. And then of course we have Tommy Doyle out there wreaking havoc for a lot of the movie. But still, she was just stuck. And the big thing to me is Halloween Kills felt like a very long, drawn out second act. Halloween 2018, it did feel sort of like a first act at first. But then, when they announced the trilogy, it's kind of hard not to feel this, but it feels too drawn out as part of a middle saga. I feel like this could have been an intro to a final chapter, which it is, but to have us wait an entire year to see that final chapter, I think it's going to cause some of the, we'll say, emotional takeaways to fall away from this one. But either way, it's a good movie. I think anybody that's a fan of the genre should watch it. By all means, it is not a bad movie. That is the biggest thing. It's well done. The worst part is some of the dialogue, but it was shot well. It looks nice. They had good characters. I certainly cared about some of the characters. It wasn't light in that front. So I will step off of this soapbox now. Let's see. Maximus says, I love how people are harping on realism when Michael once stuck his thumb through a dude's forehead. I have I have an enamel pin of that exact scene over there. I love it. John has watched it twice. I need to watch it at least one more time. At least. Let's see. I missed where it was. Ricky says, I didn't like Halloween Kills, but it's whatever. I'm not going to cry about it. Exactly. That's all you got to do. Brian says it's a bad movie, and I loved it as well. Rob Zombie's Halloween are bad, but I love them both as well. I honestly, I'm a big fan of both the Zombies Halloweens. I don't even think they're bad movies, to be honest. Dave says he agrees we're all not going to like the same things, and we shouldn't. Everything would be boring if we all like the same things. That is one of the worst things to say, is that, how come everything can't be great and we all like everything? Hell no. I don't want that. I've probably got 1,000 movies here that people hate. And by all means, like I've said on here countless times in a video I'm about to be putting out soon, I'm going to really dive into this sentence. But that is the fact that every single movie has been somebody's favorite movie. Doesn't matter which movie, it's been somebody's favorite, and that's enough to cement itself in history. John says a little bit of pacing issues. I agree. And oh man, this is one thing I forgot to touch on. Love the 1978 recreation scenes. They killed it. I mean, that was basically Loomis. They killed that. It was so well done. Love the way they did that. Eric had fun with it. Don't think it's very good. That is the exact way to look at it. So great. Undead of Night, what's going on? He's looking forward to seeing Zombies Monsters. He seems to have a true love for the classics. I agree. And that's why I've enjoyed so many of his films. The only one, I've told Brian before, the only one I've yet to see, which I'm going to watch this fall, is 31. And I honestly just can't wait to see it. Tom Ford got Kolchak the Night Stalker. Nice. I can't wait to get that one in. And I didn't even touch on these. Man, Ricky, you were keeping me on my toes tonight. This is exactly what I wanted to. Big John and Little John. Really, really great element to this film. I'm so glad they included them. The amount of times I was with, on vacation with a small group watching this, and we were at home, could not go out because I had two little kids, so I couldn't just leave them at home. Um, the when this came up, I think three out of the five people watching this went Stuart from uh, Mad TV. Loved that they were both in it. Ice didn't like it. The way Mom Mentality Messages was handled was not good, and that's I think a big part of that is the dialogue was so poor around that aspect. And Eric just called it middle movie syndrome. Exactly it. Ryan says sometimes the true colors of folks show through when opinions are intense. I feel jealous of anyone that enjoys a film that doesn't resonate with me. Their experience is more fun, so good on them. That is a great way to say it, Ryan. That is fantastically put. I love the way you said that. That is very true. And I felt that before as well. I would love to resonate with some of these more. I mean, we've joked about it on Flip's channel on the stream before if you've heard this, so sorry to regurgitate it if you have. But some of these, like uh, Tarkovsky, or some of these old art house films that I nothing just grabs me on some of those. I would love to feel emotionally affected by them. I just don't. Ricky, you saw it in theaters with family. Grandma enjoyed it. Nice. Me and my brother couldn't stop laughing during the hospital scenes. Brian says Chris Alexander said something. It's a very dumb movie made by very smart people. True. He then goes on to praise for it for how entertaining it is and how it's a comedy in disguise. There's a lot of funny moments in that movie. Let's see. John Peter says in real life, a mob caught Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, so all that in Halloween Kills worked for me. While that's true, I do think they could have handled the dialogue a little bit better. But yeah, the Richard Ramirez story is crazy. And for any of you that have not seen it, there is a Netflix. It's a little true crime, dramatized, super heavy on the dramatics to ooh what happened next type of show. But there's a show dedicated to the Night Stalker on Netflix, and it's really well done. Really well done. I grew up in Southern California, so I was there when all this happened. I remember some aspects of that, and it was right after the Rodney King riots, I believe. Might be mixing some of the dates up in my head, but there was a lot that happened in Southern California around that time. So many people were very already on edge. And then to top all that off, it was during the middle of an intense heat wave. So that entire year back then was intense. Could not agree more, Sardis. He says some of my favorite films are not great films. All depends on how it hits you. Completely agreed. One of my pickups this week, I got one of my favorite films on this really nice German media book, and a lot of people hate the movie, and I can't wait to show it off because I love it so much, and it's just because it hit me. Anyways, enough about Halloween Kills. Let's move on. Kino Lorber announced The Body of My Enemy with Jean Paul Belmondo. I know personally nothing about this one. I'm not going to be able to give any opinion. I'm digging the art on the front. It certainly makes me want to watch it. Kino has owned my wallet lately, so time will tell on that front. Then they also announced their next 4K. We are getting Steve McQueen and James Garner's The Great Escape in 4K. Now, the only thing on this that I want to point out, this is coming from an SDR master. It will not have HDR. This is only their second release behind The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly that will not have HDR. Very interesting. John got the new Film Detective films. Very nice. Severance October. I still need to get those. And Gestapo's Last Orgy from 88 Films. That's another one I pre-ordered. Have not gotten it in yet. I can't wait to watch all of those. The Sever one especially. I ordered the Franco Noir ones. I've not gotten the other one ordered yet. I do need to get that though. Jeff says sometimes a person can't even say why a movie is great to them. It just is. Exactly. Absolutely. And that's was it Andy Warhol that somebody asked him? This is an odd example to bring up here, perhaps, but somebody asked him, "What is pornography?" And he basically said, "I can't define it, but when I see it, I know that it is." It's sort of that way with the great movie. It's so subjective that it's just a great movie because it is. And it's something that you can see is a great movie. And to me, it might be a great movie. And to you, it's a pile of shit. Who knows? Maximus says The Great Escape is the ultimate in dad cinema. Ain't that the truth? Which means I can't wait to see it. Look at Orbit. Absolutely, I will be. And you know what's sad? I bought from them 3 times this week, and it hasn't been in stock every single time. Don't know how. I keep missing it, but Orbit is so damn fast to ship that, dang it, there's 3 more I want, and I got to get free shipping and got to get it in there then. And then I go to, watch it and all that, but they ship before I can add it to the order because they allow you to edit your order at Orbit. Mitchell ironically bought Gestapo on DVD. Then the Blu-ray was announced. Well, thank you for your sacrifice. Without you, we would not have gotten it. So this is coming in January. This was color corrected in 2020. Pretty much everybody knows about The Great Escape. Won't go too much into it. Let's find out what was next. While I was on vacation, this is the only souvenir I got. I got a little Pennywise. Well, I didn't get it. My sister and her husband won it from me from a vending machine. You'll see in the back here, they had a little Freddy and Beetlejuice and Jason. I think my sister also got, Freddy because she was going for that one forever. Anyone in limbo with Grindhouse? He did post an update, I believe today, that he is working. She's here. There's my sister. She's the one that won it. Thanks again. Mitchell says, anyone in limbo with Grindhouse? He posted an update today that he is struggling more than he expected with getting everything moved over to the new store and getting the website back up. He was planning on having it back up for current purchases on November 1st, I believe. It might be slightly delayed. Anything that is pre-orders was still in there. He is working on it. He's waiting on a couple distributors to change their address over for him, but you will be getting it. Mike is always on top of things. Sometimes it takes a little longer. Speaking of Arrow sales that we're about to talk about, he was a little behind with that Arrow sale last time, obviously, but because of the pandemic, he got hit a lot harder than he had ever been hit. Yeah, some of the, going back to the attitudes of some of these collectors that we were just talking about, the entitlement on when shipments is coming has been a big problem lately. Like, I mean, you ordered a copy of like Sleepaway Camp 3 from 88 Films, and it took you 6 weeks to get it. Your world is not going to crash from not getting Sleepaway Camp 3. Like, I'm sorry, it's taken longer than it used to, but also, like, just in our country, 700,000 people have died. I mean, let's give it a little bit of leeway, right? Grindhouse will come through, Mitchell, I promise. Okay, so I did not send out an update on Instagram or Facebook for this one, but Arrow Video, they put out their sale on October 18th, and oddly, it was region locked at first. Unless it was being delivered to the UK, you were unable to get sale prices for the first 30-ish hours of the sale. That sucks. It's really odd that happened. It's all fixed now, and you're able to go in there and buy internationally at sales prices. And unfortunately, a lot of the entitlement and collectors came out in full again there, with people complaining that Zavvi bought Arrow and this is going to be a big thing that they are changing. Again, Zavvi didn't buy Arrow. The Hut Group bought Arrow, or a huge investment stake in. Look at that. Eric is still waiting on Jing Yamu. I agree. Mine is supposed to, or not, I agree. Me as well. And I think it's supposed to be here tomorrow. But yeah, it sucks, but these companies are not nefarious out to get you. That is the big thing to keep in mind here. It's Arrow Video. Like, they release Chud in a release. They're not here to ruin your day. I don't know what else to say. Like, a company that is putting out a Shaw Brothers set with so many movies is not here to make sure that Bill in Tennessee doesn't get his order at the price he wants. It's ridiculous that people are going to those lengths just to find something to complain about. They always do, though. Here is all of the links if you need it. There is the Arrow Direct US site, but as usual, Arrow US releases are more expensive than the Arrow UK releases as long as you buy, I think the last time it was three. As long as you buy at least three, the shipping makes up for it. So if you're shipping from the UK, you buy at least three movies, all of that money saved on top of that for future, other items purchased in that same order will be cheaper if you're buying from overseas. Most people that have bought from Arrow before, you are used to their shipping times. I just will warn you, brace yourself. It's coming from the UK. If it gets stuck in the Chicago customs, it'll be a while. It will be quite some time. I had one a couple months ago that was from 88 Films, I believe, early in the summer, shipped on like the 2nd of May, and I didn't get it until like the middle of June. And it was in the US on, I think it was like May 9th or 10th. And then it just sat in Chicago and basically died there for a little more than a month. Mitchell, if you are not getting the 88 Film Shaw Brothers releases, I highly suggest them. Orbit DVD has been carrying a lot of them in stock recently. Wonderful releases. If you're not region free, obviously that's a problem because they are region locked B. But we do know that there are more Shaws coming. Arrow has already told us there's a second volume coming early in 2022. And then I believe there are also two titles that are confirmed to be getting standalone Shaw Brothers releases through Arrow after that. Arrow sale is still on until the end of the month, October 31st, Halloween. Get your order in. And on this picture, one I will throw out there because most people have seen the heavy hitters here, like Donnie Darko and the Switchblade Sisters. I will throw out another hearty recommendation for The Stylist, this second one here. It is a great film, and the main thing that drew me to it is the director, and the entire film was done here locally in Kansas City. She is a big proponent for the city. The extra features on the disc are all about Kansas City, filming here, about the arts in Kansas City. They were also here for the Chiefs Super Bowl parade, and that made it onto the disc. It's a great release. This is another one that I will say, not an incredible movie. It's not like a super great movie. It is essentially a. It's not really a slasher. I'd make it more like a vampire movie, but nobody's like drinking any blood. There is some like stalking some victims, but it's really well made, and the original short film is on there as well. Fantastic. If you have not seen it, I highly suggest The Stylist. Oh, and that's another one. The Stylist also comes with the soundtrack CD, which is pretty rare on most of these releases, especially from Arrow. We are getting another Dark Knight Steelbook in 4K from Best Buy, I believe. We have not gotten that announcement yet, but it is most likely going to be Best Buy. It looks like Warner Brothers is hopping on the Lionsgate trend of the printed slipcovers, which I'm all about. I've got, let's see, I believe this is one. I've got one I'm going to show in my pickups here, the Apocalypse Now Steelbook. I love the way they're putting out those releases, and I think I've got all the Lionsgate ones so far. Love those things. And this is over, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I think I might focus more on Criterion come next month when they do the Barnes & Noble half-off sale. Go over some more recommendations for that. But Criterion was half off, and it had everything up to the newest releases that just came out. And like John, I got The Incredible Shrinking Man. Can't wait to see that one again. Big one. I don't know if you, let me see. I think I've got it close. If you didn't see the video I posted on this Steelbook and the Thing UK unboxing, I'm doing a giveaway for 500 subs. So if you haven't subbed yet, by all means, please do so you're in it. We're up to, last I checked, about 430. And then we got an announcement today, I believe, yeah, 12 hours ago, from 101 Films in the UK. They are putting out The Last Broadcast. On the 6th of December, they're releasing The Last Broadcast from 1998 on Blu ray for its worldwide debut on Blue. This is going to be a black label title. And let's see. In 1995, a film crew ventured into the New Jersey Pine Barrens in search of the mythical Jersey Devil. Only one came out alive. This is an early all digital motion picture. Its format precluded it from wide release at the time, but the film's influence and cult status has been steadily growing since its original release. This limited Blue includes a new 30-minute interview with the directors, new artwork, booklet, and with expert writing on the film and the found footage genre from the directors, a feature documentary, The Found Footage Phenomenon. Pretty cool release. I don't think I've seen this one, and I love really well done found footage titles. So I'm certainly going to be interested in looking at this. However, buried below this, let me just go to the next picture and share the other thing they posted. In that announcement, they said this very specific quote here. For those of you in the States, be aware that a 101 Films US release is coming early next year. Another UK label is coming to the US. So now we have 88 films, we have Indicator, we have 101 Films all coming to the US within a span of a few months. That's awesome. Any more labels that want to come and do worldwide distribution, by all means, please do. Makes it better for everybody, cheaper for everybody, more access to these movies, which is always important. And if they can get worldwide licenses, by all means, please do. Then this morning, right after that, we got announcements from Eureka. One of, I'm not prepared to do this, but I'm going to probably say there's too many great labels this year. I was going to say one of the top 5 labels from this year, but I mean, that's so difficult. At least top 6 or 7, which is most of the heavy hitters. Maybe I shouldn't have even said anything. Eureka has been killing it this year. I'll go so far as to say that. They are putting out 2 films by Sammo Hung with Warriors 2 and The Prodigal Son. This is getting a release just like, let's see. Oh, here's the other one. Here is the one they put out. 3 films with Sammo Hung. This one had on The Iron Fisted Monk, The Magnificent Butcher, and Eastern Condors. And I should have called this episode of The Reconnected, The British Are Coming. Completely agree, Maximus. This is getting same sort of art style to some of their other releases this year, like Duel to the Death. They are 3,000 copies with the slipcover. Warriors 2, Sammo Hung, and Casanova Wong play 2 students of Master Yan who must use their skills to defend their town against an evil businessman and his gang of killers. The Prodigal Son follows Leung Yan as a younger man, lazy and spoilt. He believes himself to be a great kung fu master, not realizing that his father has been bribing his opponents to intentionally lose. After being humbled in a real fight, he decides to become a real Wing Chun master. Tons of new features on this. They've got a lot of them listed. These are subject to change, of course. This is just going to be another great release. Absolutely, they're killing it. This is an interesting question, Jeff. So Jeff says, does physical media have a bigger presence in the UK/Europe? I'm going to say yes for 2 reasons. One is the infrastructure reason, which a lot of people either don't know about or don't really consider when asking something like this. One is that not as many people have access to high-speed internet in Europe yet. So not only is it less common for streaming available at high speeds or, being able to stream high def content, but beyond that, they just have less people with access to it. So streaming is not quite as big over there. Obviously, they have a lot of the same services, but there's just not as much hours spent streaming over there. But the other thing that I will cite as evidence of this is there are more labels present in places like Germany. that get ridiculous releases. Like, I'm going to share one early. This is the one that I alluded to a few ago. This is Green Room that I just got in this really nice German media book. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, and we don't have anything like this in the States. We have no real premium retailers. We don't have anybody putting, this much love into a high quality line. And there are multiple labels in Germany alone that put out media books and high quality releases. Stuff like this. This is another German release, The American Werewolf in London 4K set that came out. I had got both of the limited edition sets, and a friend had not gotten the one, so I traded with him for that other one. But this is the one I'm left with. This came from Turbine. Turbine is incredible in Germany. So there are a lot more labels in Europe that are putting high concept physical media releases out there. Didn't they get rid of digital codes with newer releases? I think certain licensors did. Like, if I'm remembering right, I believe Universal did in Europe, but I think it was Disney did not. Sardis is asking, is it English on the booklet? I don't believe it is. Let me confirm. Not at all. Let me make this a little bigger. You can see that is in German. However, you can hold this up with like the Google Lens app and translate it word for word. It takes a little longer to read, but I've done that and I've gotten a little more out of it that way. I think it makes me focus on it more, and it's pretty smart. We've got the technology, may as well harness it, right? Sammo Hung is Tom's favorite kung fu actor. Gotta love it. He's great. He's simply one of the best. And if you don't have it, that Eureka release, sincerely, a great one. They are doing really good stuff from their Eureka side. With that, they released what some people call John Ford's best movie ever, and that is The Sun Shines Bright. Little depth on this one. Let's go into it. This is the notoriously difficult to please John Ford regarded The Sun Shines Bright as his favorite film. Based on material from Irvin S. Cobb's Judge Priest short stories, Ford had previously directed the 1934 film Judge Priest, starring Will Rogers, but was unsatisfied with the handling of the film by Fox, specifically their decision to cut a vital scene depicting the main character condemning an attempted lynching. 2 decades later, he chose to revisit the material for Republic Pictures, and the result was another masterpiece from the great director. This is set in 1905 Kentucky, and Judge Priest is fighting for re-election against a Yankee prosecutor. Despite the judge's popularity, his generosity and sense of justice may cost him the election. The Sun Shines Bright almost shared a similar fate as Judge Priest, with 10 minutes of footage being removed by Republic Pictures. Fortunately, the original uncut master was not destroyed and has now been fully restored and makes its UK debut on Blu-ray as part of the Masters of Cinema series. Awesome. Vaderdrome says, what distributor in the US sells Turbine releases? Where do you buy Turbine releases? There are, let's see, I've bought Turbine releases from Diabolic DVD, from Orbit DVD, and then The Riskiest Way, which this is going to be shocking. Let me see if I can get it out. Let me hide this for just a second and share this. Oh, this thing is heavy. For those of you that have never seen it, this, before I say something that makes me stupid, yes, this is from Turbine. Let me get rid of the quote here. I bought the giant deluxe edition of Psycho from Turbine Media, and this has everything Psycho in this. This is a wonderful release. I bought this from Amazon Germany, and it came in perfect shape somehow. I don't know how. I think there was no corner dings except for one that happened here afterwards, and it's not even really a ding. It was just a little bit of the corner was white. Yeah, Turbine Media, surprisingly great. Oh, that's a big boy. And now I'm knocking stuff over, so I'll leave it alone. Let's see. Dave says, Wilsonian Movie Museum on YouTube has releases that I've never seen in the US and Canada. He hasn't been on for almost, but his collection is phenomenal. Flex, what's going on? Good to see you too. That's the big thing. I put out a video, gosh, probably 2.5 months ago now. It's been a while. The video I did was 10 tips on collecting from overseas boutiques, and it is such a wonderful resource. And I hate to brag about mine like that. Flex, I'm sorry. I was driving back from Phoenix during the time when we did that. The streaming then would have started when I was about an hour after Albuquerque, New Mexico, on the road, and never was going to work out. I'm sorry. We will be back with a vengeance next week. Does that Psycho set include the remake? I think it does. Let me see. Yeah, Psycho 1998, disc number 6. So let me go through everything that's on here. This has Psycho, Psycho 2, Psycho 3, Psycho 4, Psycho Uncut from 1960, Psycho 1998, Psycho Legacy. This is Rob Galuzzo, used to be on Shockwaves. It is his documentary on it. Bates Motel, the TV film from 1987, and then also the documentary 7852 from 2017. This has everything that you could ever want for Psycho in this. The only thing I will say, none of them are 4K. It was before Turbine was doing anything 4K, but this is a legendary set, and they did put out a standard release of this set. This is for comparison. A lot of people have seen the Herschel Gordon Lewis serial box set. Let me just show you the size comparison. They are literally about the same size, with Psycho slightly bigger, both in width and height. It is a chunky set, and it's 8 full discs just for the movies, and I think there might even be a disc or two that is CD, but I'm not remembering that now. Yeah, these are crazy great releases. Set these down, sorry. Just holding both of these, I feel like I'm about to tip over. And then I'm the 6'5" idiot who keeps them right by the ceiling. All right. Oh, nice. Jeff used the overseas vid to help with your first UK orders. That's great. I'm glad you did. It's one that I think got a small amount of traction. I kind of hoped more people would see it, but it's there forever. So I still use it as a resource, especially in some of the Facebook groups when people ask asinine questions. I send them the link. Flex never saw Psycho, but loved the show Bates Motel. I mean, you should watch it. Psycho is surprisingly great. Obviously the first one had. Okay, let me backtrack before that sounds stupid. The first Psycho is highly rated. Everybody knows it's great. The series as a whole is surprisingly great. You watch the first one, and you don't think it's going to make for a really good franchise, but it really does. It's surprisingly great. John, really impressed with the Halloween 4Ks and Elvira's slip boxes from Scream. Me too. I wish they would stay with that, and those might be part of the unboxings in just a few, if everybody's into that. Let's see. Mitchell, this is hit me in a sore spot. This is another spot that pissed me off. Mitchell says, I was miffed that the digital code of the original did not come with the uncut, even though it was promoted. Agreed. That release of Psycho was kind of a nightmare. I mean, a replacement disc for a movie like Psycho should not happen. And when they didn't include the mono audio, I think that was the issue. And then not to mention the fiasco with the uncut. Yeah, that was a problem. We are almost done with the announcements. I think we only got 1 or 2 left now. The Mondo Macabro sales live, like I said. That is for tonight. And then just, gosh, about an hour and a half ago, a little more than that, about 2 hours ago, Makeflix went live to announce that they are putting out Chupa on Blu-ray. This is one I've not seen, I never heard of, and there's a reason. This was never released. This was shelved for more than 20 years, and they are now putting this out for the first time, and it sounds decent, I would say. This is shot on video. It comes from a Betamax master, and let's see the synopsis here. Something in the woods is feeding on people, bleeding them dry. What little evidence there is suggests it may be the work of the Chupacabra, a creature most believed to be little more than urban legend. According to folklore, Chupa kills small livestock living off their blood. But why has it started preying on people? To answer that question, a small federal military and civilian task force has been sent deep into Ohio's expansive Cuyahoga Valley in National Park to find and capture the mythical monster. But it won't be taken without a fight, and as the hunters quickly become the hunted, they soon realize their Chupa may be something else altogether. This is available to order now. The first, let's see, I think the first 500, yeah, first 500 right here get a signed slipcover by the director Tom Hoover. And if you go to makeflix.com, you can order that now. But that is it for announcements for the week. We got some more coming up. My guess is next Friday we will get Arrow. Tomorrow we are getting another couple sales. We are getting Indicator. They're putting out their sale in the UK. This will be a UK only sale. We are also getting the Scream Factory sale tomorrow. That should go live about 8 o'clock Pacific. John says, out of the new 4 Mondo Macabros, which are you the most least excited for? I'm probably most excited either for Hiruko or Succubus. Digging folk horror this year, so Severin is, I know you and I are right on that same page there, but Severin is speaking my language come December. So Succubus looks great. Hiruko, you gotta love Tsukamoto. Other than that, I'd say next would probably be School of Death as the one I'm looking forward to. Just because it sounds interesting. It's got that gothic touch, and I mean that's nothing wrong with that. It's always good. And then last would probably be The Laughing Woman. Doesn't sound bad. I don't think I've ever watched a Mondo Macabro release that I've hated or not even not liked. So much of their stuff is great. Like I said, if people want, we can go over the sale. They have pretty good prices. They have some stuff $13-14 for a Blu-ray. That's pretty good. For like Paul Naschy films, I mean, that's pretty dang nice. Let's see. We can share what is coming out next week. A lot of people are already receiving some of these, but just in case. There we go. We got the Blood for Dracula 4K coming to other retailers, not just Severin, but it's the same release. Don't need to worry about that. Suicide Squad's coming out. Good movie. See it if you haven't. The Underworld 5 movie collection of 4K will be out next week. And, oh, that's right. Laughing Woman does have Rachel Nisbet. I forgot that she's on there. Nothing But Trouble, the long said as one of the worst films ever made from Shout Factory, technically releases next week. One I wanted to show and highlight here. This has From Dusk Till Dawn in 4K listed as coming out next week. That, unfortunately, was delayed a couple months back, and Blu-ray.com just simply has not updated their listing. I really hope we get From Dusk Till Dawn in 4K eventually, but at the moment, it appears to be completely off the table. Don't know what happened there. I'm going to assume it's something with distribution or pandemic slowing it down. From Arrow, Deep Red in 4K, officially next week. Fritz the Cat from Scorpion releasing next week. Nice release there. Steel Dawn from Vestron. Killer Party from Scream Factory. The original art cover of Deep Red 4K. Then we got the Vinegar Syndrome releases. We got Ticks in 4K next week. And Let's see, those are the retail releases. We got The Laughing Dead. That's going to be shipped from them. We got the Camille Keaton in Italy. Don't Breathe 2 is one that people have actually been talking about. It's a decent movie. Haven't seen it yet. I did not venture into the theater for that one. Warner Archive is coming out with all kinds of stuff available. Remember, those are on Amazon, not their site. Nine Lives of Fritz the Cat, the sequel, that will also be out next week. The I Spit on Your Grave in 4K release from Ronin should be out next week. And the partner labels that we're getting from Vinegar Syndrome, like Summer of '84, that'll be out. Angel for Satan with Barbara Steele, that is the other Severin one that John and I were speaking on. Franco Noir, that's the other Severin I mentioned. The Twilight Zone, the full series on Blu-ray, is getting a re-release. If you did not have it, that is going to be coming out. Let's see, John just hinted at one I'm going to talk about in just a second. Just came home to that one. And Dustin, I agree. I am very excited to get this month's Vinegar Syndrome. This is an intense month of Vinegar Syndrome. I can't wait to get it in. We've got The Last Matinee, Boarding House. Let's see. What else is even coming this month? I have forgotten a few. Shatter Dead is this month. The Knife and Heart slipcover releases this month. So many. That 31 Steelbook from Target is releasing next week. The Giallo Essentials from Arrow is releasing. Megan is Missing from Lionsgate is coming out. Shit and Champagne is one that's coming out. Death of Nintendo. Let's see. Six String Samurai in 4K, I believe, is getting a retail release that will not be listed as a VSU. So, interested in that. Let's see. I feel like I missed one I was going to touch on. What did I see that I glossed right over? Oh, it's this one. The Amazing Mr. X. If you are not paying attention, Film Movement, or not Film Movement, sorry, the Film Detective, I believe that's the name. They are putting out some great releases this year. Classic cinema, so many things that people just don't talk about. They go under the radar. They put so much love and affection into their releases. It just shines. And because they're not trashy 70s and 80s horror, they don't get the clicks that these other titles do, unfortunately. And I'm not disparaging 70s and 80s horror. I love them. I've got thousands of them here. But the Film Detective, oh, look at that. Didn't even see this. John brought that up. Amazing Mr. X from Film Detective next week. Yes. Yes, they are doing great work. Another boutique that let me see. I don't know if I have a release left from them. I've got a couple, I got at least two more of my boutique labels I collect and So Should You videos coming out. And I'm going to be highlighting some that I don't own any from. And I think that might be one I have to highlight. I know I used to have one or two, but I'm not sure if I still have them. Let's see what was said while I was over there. Mitchell was watching Angel for Satan tonight. Nice. Very nice. Hope you're digging it. And John is saying that it's got a beautiful slip like Vinegar Syndrome and a cool pin of steel. I need to get that pin because I've got all of the other Severin pins. Got to add that to the collection. And Dave says, I'm surprised no one has put out a Robert Rodriguez collection yet. Fully agreed. I'm kind of shocked as well. It would be nice to have, especially like that one that Tarantino had. I think it was his first 8 or 9 films. Came in that really nice box. It was like Tarantino X. I think it was called something like that. And Film Detective has black cases. Nice. I really wish more companies did that. And Barbara is your first pin. Nice. Very nice. Their pins are surprisingly high quality. And that's a weird thing probably to focus on. But Severin does great with pins. All right. So I advertised a Q&A. Is there, before I get into any unboxings, because I know for some people that's boring and I can just throw that in at the end, any questions? Any questions about any releases that you've seen in the movie, anything about the room, anything about me, anything about the channel, anything you want to talk about. By all means, I'm standing and eager to get anything off the wall to show you. I can hang out as late as needed. Feel like this is going to be a fun one. So ask away. Anything you've ever wanted to know, see up close. Any of my like movie props. Like if you watched my collection video, I've got the demon wind skin. I've got a few like that. So if there's anything like you'd like to see, by all means, let me know. Halloween 5 4K was stellar 4K picture quality. I've not even opened my box yet. I'm glad that it's good. I really can't wait to see some of those. Ice, I did not join yet. I'm trying to pick one or two to join right now. I'm so broke. How often will you get oscilloscope releases with your subscription? That is a great question. Not one that they advertise much. So with me, when I signed up, I think I got my first one, because what's really cool is if you sign up from them, you can choose movies that they've already put out to be a part of your subscription. So if you've got, you buy the 10 film Circle of Trust, you can choose 3 movies that they've put out that they are still selling to be 3 of those 10 and just get them for cheap. After that, then they send them as they come out. So I got the first one about a month after that, and I got, I think, 2 in that set. And then the second one was a little bit delayed. I probably got 2 or 3 months wait in between for the next one. And I think on that second one, I got another 2 titles. Might have even been 3, but it's not super often, and it's not extremely consistent, sadly. My sister says, what's the coolest movie prop you have in your opinion? Oh gosh, going off of those, it would have to be either my screen used Demon Wind prop finger, which is a part of the gloves in the film, or the other one that it could be, and primarily because of how they got this together. And I got this through one of my contacts, but the triple set of Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead. And on here we've got the Cemetery Foundation Stone from Night of the Living Dead, JCPenney's Escalator Metal from Dawn of the Dead, and then the Wampum Underground Mine Stone from Day of the Dead. I love that all 3 of these are together. He's been posting some cool stuff. If you're interested and you're on Facebook, I can give you contact for finding things like that. Dave says, how has your watching been going? Not great. Since last Thursday, I only watched Halloween Kills. I did not watch anything else yet. We drove to Phoenix and back, so that was a little more than 20 hours each way. Oh, and didn't even share this. Got a flat tire on the way there. That was interesting. I rode the last about 120 miles into Phoenix on a spare tire. That was super fun. Yeah, my watch along for the month is behind. I am eager to catch up this weekend. I plan on watching a few. Although I've got a gig Saturday night. I'm DJing a charity event here in Kansas City, and it's going to be an interesting time. So I don't know how much I'm going to be able to watch on Saturday. Eric asks, what is your favorite release of Big Trouble in Little China? Favorite, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the art, but I think the best release, let me open this up all the way, is the Scream Factory Steelbook. Nice 4K scan on this one. And I think this was a 4K scan, wasn't it? Oh, that's right. I don't think this was a 4K scan. I think this was one that they just used the previous scan. So sadly, we don't even have a good scan of Big Trouble in Little China. This one it brought new features, but just to have the steelbook is cool, obviously. But it's yeah, it's not enough, and I agree. I already saw this comment here, waiting for the inevitable 4K of Big Trouble. Yeah, that will certainly happen at some point, I'm sure. Where is the best place to get a good copy of Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer? Is that out of print? I I think it's on Amazon still, is it not? And sadly, this is one. Does anybody know? I don't think there's a boutique release of this. Not one with a lot of love or anything like that. This is one that certainly deserves it. Yes, there is a 30th anniversary of Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. It's not super cheap, but I'd say it's worth the money. I'm going to post a link for it in the comments there. Amazon 1879. John says he hopes Scream doesn't have killer deals tomorrow. If their last few sales are any indication, they might. They've actually done better than they have for a while. Next question was from Maximus. This is a tough one, but what would you say your most treasured prop or film? Gosh. Honestly, at this point, because I got it framed and it not to just reshare the stuff that I've showed recently, but probably let me grab it again if there's anybody here that didn't see it. This is what I got for my wife for her birthday this year. And that is this saw. I've got a picture of us with Tobin Bell, an autographed poster by Tobin Bell and Shawnee Smith, then a picture of us with Shawnee Smith and the autographed actual jigsaw by Tobin Bell. Really love this. Glad we can have that experience and get this for my wife. For those that weren't here, we went to almost every Saw movie on opening night together. If you pull, if you pull that demon wind finger, do you get a special sound effect? Not only will I say yes, I will say watch Spookies. You'll find out what it was. My sister says, sorry, friends, we had much needed family time, played lots of fun games. Not a lot of movies were watched, although I did do the one chip challenge and failed miserably. It was a great week. Sardis got his 3D glasses from Jaws 3 when he went to see the film Shark Over the Nose. That's awesome. Yeah, I wish I still had a good 3D TV panel. Mine died, and unfortunately, it's really difficult to get one here in the U.S. now. They don't make them in the U.S. They still make them in Europe. If anybody knows how to get one, by all means, let me know because I've got plenty of 3D movies here I'd love to watch properly. John, since last Thursday, watched Halloween Kills twice, Halloween 5 and 4K, Midnight. Baxter, you watched Baxter. What'd you think of Baxter? That's one I've been trying to highlight for a lot of people because it came out this year from Scorpion Releasing, and not enough people know that movie. Under Wraps from Disney Plus and Elvira's Haunted Hills. Nice. Let's see. Dave has been watching The Collector and Evil Dead 13, and then watch The Monster Squad. That's on the watch along list for this month. Nice. I will be watching that, I believe, in just a few days with the kids. The Undead of Night wants to know any Creepshow items in your collection, other than the obvious Creepshow release from Scream Factory, Creepshow 2 from Arrow. I think I have. Let me grab over here. Let me see if it's easily accessible. Okay, so I don't think it is. I got recently, there is a Creepshow Steelbook. This is going to be the weirdest thing to explain this in the world. Creepshow Steelbook got released in Spain, and Walmart.com was selling it probably about a year ago, completely expecting it to not ship. It was only on there for like 24 bucks. Showed up in my house. I've got a Creepshow Steelbook from Spain. It's pretty cool. I will try to find it by the next stream, but it is buried in my too deep horror shelves, so that would take a few to find. Who is my favorite horror director or director in general? I suppose you can pick a couple because I don't think I can narrow it down. Yeah, definitely cannot narrow that down at all. I will say, classic director. I'm gonna have to go with the stereotypical, probably John Carpenter. Current director. I don't know if this is seen as hipster or stereotypical or whatever, but I can't wait to see what Ari Aster continues to do. Primarily, yes, his two films are great, but I believe next he is doing a comedy, which really excites me. I'm really curious to see what he brings to that. And due to that, I will say, if that interests you, look up Ari Aster's short film. I think it's called Keeping Up with the Johnsons, something like that. It is wild. When I watched it, it was on Vimeo. I still think it's available there. Um, it is not clean, so be prepared for that. But it is really well made. I obviously really love Robert Eggers as well. That is a big name. And then recently, I will say The Nightingale really jumped up for me as maybe one of my favorites of all time with how much I liked it. So I will say, even though she's put out two films, I think both of her films, meaning Jennifer Kent, have been absolutely bangers for me. So many people hate the Babadook, but I think most people that hate the Babadook don't have kids or don't have kids with special needs or haven't dealt with a kid with special needs at all. And I will say, not only is the kid in that annoying, but it is annoying in a way that is very realistic. Um, yeah, I love what she's done with both of her films, and can't wait for more. Ah, Henry is from Dark Sky Films. That's why. Not really a boutique, I would say, but they're working on it sometimes. Oh, Dustin, don't get me excited like that. He wants one of those 4-disc Studio Canal sets for Big Trouble in Little China, just like The Thing. If you want to see what he's talking about, look at my last unboxing with that steelbook of The Thing. I unboxed the 4-disc one that is just like the ones from Studio Canal, but was put out by Universal. Yeah, Jeff, sorry. I don't think there's any boutique for it. Sardis asks, have you seen either of the Leningrad cowboy films from Kurosmaki? No, I got to be honest there. I have not. Knowing your taste and what you've recommended before, I'm sure they're great, and I will certainly be writing that down after our stream. And to to share how much I take what you guys say as well, I had to go back this week and rewatch a stream from 2 weeks ago when we talked about the Kino sale to find out the comments that you guys were talking about of some of the ones that you recommended because it made me purchase them in the Kino sale. So thank you. Always keep those recommendations coming. I certainly don't know everything, and I love to hear what you guys are recommending as well. Mitchell wants Scream to reprint Vincent Price Volume 2. That's a tough one. The ones that go out of print are rough. Sadly, I don't see him reprinting it because a lot of those Vincent Price titles, I think some of the ones from that volume are coming from Kino now. And I would not be surprised if Kino got possibly even all of the Scream Factory Vincent Price titles to put out now. Eric says, I don't have movie props, but I caught a guitar pick at a Bandmate concert. That is awesome. That is super awesome. Ooh, nice. John says Baxter is wild and dark, curiously dangerous positions they put the dog in. A killer dog movie with a bit of Nazi exploitation. Really good movie. Completely agree. I've been recommending that one for years, and it's so nice now to be able to have a nice Blu-ray release to point people to. Let's see. Eric's been keeping up with the watch along. Nice. Haven't rewatched a few things I'd already seen. So let's see. The watch along for this week, this last week, should have been, let's see, Basket Case 1408 for the 17th, The Golem on Monday, Lair of the White Worm on Tuesday, Monster Squad yesterday, and Bloody Moon from the Video Nasties today. And then last week we would have had Faces of Death, Misery, Lake Mungo, and Ringu. I had already watched Lake Mungo, so I got ahead by 1 and behind by 6 or 7. So I've got a few to catch up on. The one I'm really looking forward to over the next week is showing my wife The Wicker Man for the first time, and also Santa Sangre. And The big one that's brand new watch for me is Muppets Haunted Mansion. If you've been watching the stream for a while, you know I love Muppets, and I cannot wait to see that. My sister watched The Babadook, nice, and loved it. Eric, I'd love to hear what you thought on any of those watch-alongs. Be sure to share for sure. Oh, there you go. Dustin said Oster short film is disturbing and great. Yeah, it's super disturbing. You can see, and I think it was sort of billed as a comedy. And when I say short film, Dustin, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it like 20 minutes? Maybe even a few minutes longer than that? It's pretty long. Undead of Night checked Amazon. Creepshow Steelbook listed at $89, but not in stock. You might want to check Walmart.com. I haven't checked in a long time, but it was there last time I checked. Just saying. Fred Krueger, welcome to the party. He says we need more Hammer horror movies, not yet on Blu-ray, like the movie She. I can't possibly argue with you. Hammer horror is a classic for a reason. That is one that I'm glad Indicator gave some love to, but at the same time, they put out a lot of the classics and only a few of the super not well known. I would love to see 3 or 4 more Hammer box sets from them. Just really dive deep into those unknown films. Eric got Legend in. Nice. That one looks like a really good release. Do you think we'll get a Heisei era Godzilla set from anyone? Honestly, you probably know better than me, but my thought is likely no. I think if we were going to, we probably would have already. I would love to see it. Well, this is crazy. Maximus says, just saw on Twitter that Alec Baldwin shot and killed a cinematographer and wounded the director of a movie he was working on. Appears to be a Brandon Lee type accident. What? I'm going to have to look that up real quick, and we might go over that. Alec Baldwin. In New Mexico, where I just drove through. Let's see if we can share this. Yikes. So it says Alec Baldwin's prop firearm kills one and injures another. Alec Baldwin discharged a prop firearm that killed a cinematographer and injured the director of the movie Rust, being filmed on a set south of Santa Fe. A county sheriff's office spokesman said late Thursday. Helena Hutchins, 42, and the director of photography for the movie, died at University of New Mexico Hospital in Albuquerque. The film's director, Joel Souza, was hospitalized in Santa Fe. Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office spokesman Juan Rios said a source close to the investigation said Baldwin was questioned by investigators on Thursday and was seen by a New Mexican reporter and photographer in tears. I can't imagine going through that. Investigators are still trying to determine if the incident was an accident, Rios said. No charges have been filed and the investigation is open. The prop was fired at Bonanza Creek Ranch, where filming was underway, the sheriff's office said in an early evening news release. Baldwin stars in the production. Hutchins died from her injuries after she was flown to the University of New Mexico Hospital. According to the sheriff's office, Souza was taken to Christus St. Vincent Regional Medical Center, where he is receiving emergency care. The office said attempts to get comment from Baldwin were unsuccessful. Jeez, that is rough. Filming was set to continue in early November, according to a news release from the New Mexico Film Office, described as the story of a 13-year-old boy left to fend for himself and his younger brother following the death of their parents in 1880s Kansas, with New Mexico doubling for Kansas. Guns firing, blanks, blah, blah, blah. Yikes. That is rough. Man, I can't imagine the personal turmoil that he's going to go through after that, just being a part of that. Honestly, maybe a weird to say right after reading that, but I'm shocked Alec Baldwin was working on a current movie where he was shooting a gun. It doesn't seem like him much recently over the last couple of years. Getting back to it after that downer moment, sorry. Mitchell appreciated the Hammer Collection Mill Creek release. It's a nice release, yeah, lots in there. Dustin also got Legend, and it's going to be his first time watching it. Wow. So by all means, I think I said this on one of the streams when they announced it, but I will say again, possibly the best depiction of Satan in any movie ever. I think the only thing close to it might be in Constantine or in a comedy, maybe. Tenacious D in The Pick of Destiny. Let's see here. John Peters got Diabolical Dr. Z from that Kino sale because, oh, good. I hope you like it. It's literally, it might be his best movie, his actual best movie. John Watts, Muppets Haunted Mansion. It's cute. Nice. Forgot that you watched that too. I heard recently that there's a bunch of old horror, like actual deep Easter eggs, like something from like Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and a few other things. I cannot wait to see it. Look at that. Brian even watched Haunted Mansion twice and Under Wraps twice. Very nice. There you go. Ari Aster's short film was 30 minutes. Okay, so I must have been thinking 28 minutes. It is surprisingly long for a short film. It is, and it's really well filmed. It looks really good. You can see why he got into everything that he's done. The color scheme, it's not like pastels, but the brightness of it was very Midsummer, for sure. Let's see. Eric says he enjoyed Basket Case. The Golem was a rewatch, Lair of the White Worm, and Monster Squad, with the Golem being the best, the others being okay. Did not like 1408 or Bloody Moon. Kind of surprising on 1408. I think it's a decent one. The Golem is, that makes sense, as it being the best listed there. I cannot remember if I've seen Lair of the White Worm or not. If I did, it was literally decades ago, and this will basically be like a first-time watch. So I'm interested in seeing it. Ryan's asking, has anyone found a definitive software solution to catalog your film collection? I use Blu-ray.com. It is free, and it has literally everything in there. I think there's only been, in my huge collection, probably less than 20 titles that have not been in the Blu-ray.com database, and most of the time, they get added eventually. So I do keep a little running list of ones that I don't have in there just in case I need to release it. But it's got an app. It's got a barcode scanner. Works very well for me. Really quick search. And it does everything great for me. I can even, I can log into Blu-ray.com here and show what I've got listed, if that would help. Let me see. Where's my collection? I really need to download a ad blocker for Chrome. All right, let me get this up and sharing. So I use this to not only catalog what I own, but also what I watch. I put my ratings in here. So this has everything. This is my complete collection, and it lists it as 6,081 movies. Let me see if I can turn off the dark mode for everybody to see. So I've got, 6,081 movies, but that doesn't mean 6,081 releases. And there's a few that I have not deleted that I've gotten rid of. But I've got everything in here. It's all alphabetical. They've got Blu-rays, they've got DVDs, they've got 4Ks. I think this is well worth the time and energy to catalog everything in here. Super worth it. The box sets, they are listed separately as having all of the movies. And it's great. If there's anything else that you'd like to see from here, by all means, let me know. I can go to a specific page. I can search anything you want to see. I will stop sharing for now. But if you want to see anything else, let me know. Brian says, will Vinegar Syndrome partners get half off of SRP? Yes. With an asterisk next to the yes. So anything that was released before they became a partner label, like AGFA releases, like Zodiac Killer, the Sword and the Claw, the Soul Tangler, Lady Street Fighter, like those ones will not be half off. And anything released in the last, usually it's 3 to 4 months, will not be half off. But everything else, it should be half off of the SRP come the November sale. So something like the standard release of Smile from Fun City Editions. This should only be like $17.50 or $19.99, whatever the half off SRP is, and it should be available. They had plenty of them as far as I'm aware. A bunch of the AgCode releases will all be half off of the SRP. Anything, just don't plan on anything in the last 3 to 4 months. Other than that, you should be good. But anything that was released before they were partner label, no, obviously. Fred Krueger, thank you for that. You have a very nice internet show here. I do my best. Thank you. Brian asks, have I seen Deadlock yet? Speaking of Vinegar Syndrome partner labels, Deadlock. Yes, I did watch this. This is in 4K. The numbers on this are either drastically low or about to sell out. And I will say, there is no standard edition release of this coming from Subculture with Vinegar Syndrome. This is one, if you really want it, you probably need to grab it soon, because I don't know that this will last to the sale, actually. Deadlock is interesting. It is a German spaghetti Western film, and done in a very spaghetti Western style. Really well-made film. The only thing that I could say bad about it is it drags a little in the second act, but the acting is great. It is it's very dirty, a grimy film for sure. Really simple story. So if you're looking for deep plot, you're not going to find it in this film, but it's well made to the point that I would say if you like Westerns at all, you will probably like Deadlock quite a bit. Eric asks, and then I lose the comment. Where'd it go? Do you get the itch to watch a certain kind of film after October is over? I tend to crave classics, anime, and K-dramas. I would say yes. Last year, we tended, I don't know why or how we noticed, but we tended to focus on a lot of crime films in November last year. I know some people go for the Noir-vember. We didn't go that deep, but we did do a lot of crime in November. And then December, I tried to do a lot of holiday films that my wife had never seen. Like, let's see, what was the first time watches for her? She'd never seen Christmas Evil, Christmas with the Cranks. Yeah, not just horror or anything like that. Just a lot of ones that she grew up and never saw for some reason. Fred Krueger pointed out Mill of the Stone Woman is coming on Blu-ray. I honestly, that was when they announced that month from Arrow. That was probably my most wanted title. I had never seen it, and I'm stoked to get it. 1408 has 2 cuts. I don't know if I remember that. I'm going to have to go back and look for a second cut now. Thanks. Basket Cases, top 5 for Brian. That is high praise. Wow. Ryan says, thank you. You've been dying to find a solution. I hope that works. If you have any questions, by all means, literally, you can message me, email me. I will help you at any point. I personally think it's the best possible solution, and it's free, literally free. And Sarda says, is the database just for physical media? No, the database also covers, let me pull it up. They've got, where you can do 4K Blu-ray, DVD. You can do digital copies that you have. You can make lists. You can like do favorites. You can put watch lists. You can make a want list. Oh man, there's all kinds of questions on Blu-ray.com. So hopefully I will answer all of them. Sardis, if that didn't answer, by all means, ask me a little more specifically, and I will help you get that answer. Ryan says, if they have an app, even better, but if not, no biggie. They absolutely have an app. Let me see if I can do this and still keep the sound, because my headphones will go from my computer to my phone. But let me pull up mine. This is their base app, and I am on this literally every single day. If you can't hear me, let me know. So you have search. You have deals straight to Best Buy, Amazon, Walmart, and a few others, even iTunes in there. You have a barcode scanner. You can search your collection. And then at the bottom is everything in your collection. So you'll see it's got the parentheses there. So I have 5,211 releases with 6,612 different movies. So that is how they signify that there. How many are on Blu-ray, 4K, and 3D? And the big thing, when you click on all movies, it reloads everything to see what you've put into the database since you last loaded it. And then it divides everything even further. How many I've watched since I started using the app. And then I can go in and I can sort by genres, directors, media types. Like, let's look at directors here. This shows me how many from every single director I have linked with the movie. And like Adam Green, I've got 11 Adam Green movies. Yeah, their app is well worth it. So yeah, you can see it searchable by genre, searchable by folders, searchable by list. The interface is great, super user friendly. Italian horror movies from the 60s were great, absolutely. Dustin watched, man, I lost it again. It keeps scrolling all the way to the bottom. I watched the Corpse Party anime today. That show is super disturbing. That sounds disturbing. I have not watched it. John says, eager to see what Subculture does. I completely agree. Is that is all that we've got from them as a Vinegar Syndrome partner label? Interesting. Yeah, that's a very good point. This is crazy. So because I was on vacation, I forgot Dune was coming out this weekend. I don't know how. Who is going to check out Dune this weekend? It is streaming and in theaters in most places as of today. It premiered today in a lot of theaters. I definitely need to see it. Somebody else took my recommendation. Thank you. I got the Blu-ray of Benny Loves You, and it's my new favorite horror movie. I've never laughed at so much blood. That movie is amazing. For anybody that's not gotten it yet, oh my God, Benny Loves You is incredible. And Retro Rob, if you're still there, I don't know if you saw this. Let me go grab it. This is obviously not a prop from the movie, but oh, don't fall. This is one I showed on stream a couple weeks ago. I got my own little Benny, and he talks. Happy Benny. Absolutely love that movie. So many more people need to see that. I'm glad you did. Undead of Night asks, have I seen The Golden Glove? The name sounds familiar. Look it up. Movies. Golden Glove. Oh, that's why. The one from 29, let's see, is that 2019 that came out? It does have a release overseas, I believe. Let me share this screen so people can see which one we were talking about. You probably recognize this cover here of The Golden Glove. And this is, it only got a DVD in the US. Let's see. All releases in all countries. I swear it came out from somewhere else on Blu-ray. Huh. I'm not seeing the one I was thinking of now. I don't think I've seen that yet, sadly. Oh, here's a really good question. Are the Kino Blu-rays for Mario Bava movies good quality? I was thinking of buying some. Absolutely, yes. They are top-notch. They are literally on par with the Arrow releases for these same movies. They are fantastic. The only thing I will say is pay attention to which version, depending on what you want. Kino, because they were small when they were putting out a lot of these, I say small, relatively, they were not putting as much into these discs as they could at the time. So they released their AIP versions and the English versions of the Bava films with them subbed and dubbed, depending on which one you want. So they are great releases. Just pay attention to which one you want. Absolutely buy with confidence. They're fantastic. Ryan says, that's amazing. This really means a lot to you to learn this. And now I can have a blast archiving delight. Yes, it'll take a while. And that first time, it took me forever when I finally discovered, like, this is the app I'm going to dive into and really get everything. The big thing is if you're buying overseas a lot, make sure you're searching all countries so it doesn't just show you US releases. Where do you get that app? They have an iTunes app and they have an Android app. It is definitely available on both. John is going to watch Dune in intervals. I imagine many people would. Retro Rob says, are you talking about that Benny? It sold out. They went through 2 different runs of it. They released it twice, and yes, it did sell out on both. Oh, nice. Mitchell is going to have a Bava Kino marathon since you bought them. That sounds like a great couple days. Jeff says you're obviously a huge horror fan, but what other genres really grab you? I mean, obviously, you can see these. I really dig watching Marvel movies with my family. There's just something about them. It's great with a group. I am a big fan of crime films. I kind of just mentioned them for last year, but one of my favorite movies of all time is Zodiac. So a movie like that is really well done. Really, I would say the best way to put it probably is police procedural are ones that I really love to get in the nitty gritty of it. Since I was around law enforcement a lot growing up, and I really loved probably just my age and my generation. I loved like the Encyclopedia Brown, the Nancy Drew, the Hardy Boys types of stories. Absolutely love those. So yeah, I really love diving into mysteries like that. Some of the old like 1940s mysteries are fantastic. Real big fan of the erotic thrillers from the 90s, and real big fan of the raunchy comedies of the 2000s. Absolutely stone cold favorites. It just shaped who I am. It's my type of comedy. It's just, don't know a better way to say it. It's just great. Like I mentioned, I think last week or the week before, my wife, we had an in-home date night, and she celebrated the year that we met, which was 2001. And she showed Not Another Teen Movie that night. And we, what did we do? We listened to music, we played a couple board games, and then she put on Not Another Teen Movie. And it was a great way to end that night. Hope that answered that question. Mitchell bought both cuts of some of the Bava films. Nice, nice. How big is my Blu-ray unwatched pile? John, don't do this to me. My pile is huge. I know you've got younger kids like me. I think yours are a couple years older than mine, but I've been collecting for literally decades at this point. I used to have a ton of DVDs, and now obviously we're into mostly Blu-rays and 4K. And I think that the last few years have had a lot of ups and downs for me as a person. First off, probably going back to 2013, that's when the bulk of it happened. I moved 1,500 miles across the country from California to Kansas City, in a way that was dramatic on purpose, but not to hurt people. I am estranged from a lot of my family, so I came out here with no support other than my wife, and didn't have any, like, I'd never been to Missouri or Kansas or anywhere near here before I moved out here. I moved here sight unseen. So I made that move. I sold a lot of my collection to get here, though. That's what I was getting at. And then it took a couple of years. It took a couple of years to recover and get back into the boutique side of things. And I think let's see, I think it was an Arrow release. It might have been the release of Reanimator to begin with. And that, if I'm remembering right, I think that's the first big boutique Blu-ray release that got me back into buying a lot of movies. And just ever since then, I've been diving in, obviously. And in that time, I've had 2 kids. My first kid was born in 2015, and my second was born exactly to the day 18 months later. And unfortunately, both of them have taken a lot more attention than we were anticipating, and a lot more resources and money and time and energy. And so a lot of the movies have sat on the shelf. And I am very far behind from what I wanted to be, but I do know that my kids need that attention now, and the movies will still be here, um, 3 years from now, 2 years from now, next week. When it's a good time, I try to go really heavy, watch as many as I can, but in the meantime, they wait for me. Uh, there's a lot. I will say that there is a whole lot. I didn't even answer the question fully. There's certainly gosh, probably 1,000 plus, and that's only because I'm counting box sets. So if there's one film in the box I haven't seen, I will count it as unseen. Yeah, there's a lot. Maximus asks, what subgenres do you think boutique labels are going to focus on in the future? There's been so much horror. I wonder if we'll see some more love given to cheesy old action B movies. I absolutely think we will. Completely agree that we will see some old action B movies. I think we're already starting to see some of those. If you look at something like 88 Films, they're giving all kinds of love to Jean Claude Van Damme and obviously Jackie Chan, which fall into that. I'm really hoping that we get a focus on Hong Kong films over the next couple of years with that law that was passed in mainland China. Um, I think we got some problems ahead of us where we might not be able to see uncut versions of Hong Kong films ever if we don't get it soon. So I'm hoping that we can, maybe some deals were already made and we can get those out soon. It's tough to focus on the Hong Kong thing. I also see a big glaring spot for some of the uh, some of the action slash crime movies from the late 80s and early 90s. And if we could dive into that, I would be thrilled. Um, we're certainly in it comes in cycles and waves, obviously. And when we get into a nostalgia patch, where like right now it is, I mean, cheesy horror is always going to be there. There's thousands of movies that have still never been released. That will always be there. That's not the problem. But like right now with 88 Films, we're in a big Jackie Chan wave. We're in a big Shaw Brothers wave. Jean Claude Van Damme, like I brought up. But there are other companies like Kino doing all of the Vincent Price. I guarantee you will spike some interest in Vincent Price, and we're going to see a lot of Vincent Price for a little while. We will probably be seeing a lot of Bronson for a while. Kino has been focusing on that. Even Scorpion releasing has focused on Bronson. Subgenres is one way that they do it, but also they really focus on actors. And I get why. And a lot of that is because of licensing. So when they buy a license for a film, they usually don't just license one film. They usually buy access to like 5 or 8 films. And that's usually done by a bucket that the licensing studio just has ready to go. So if it's Bronson for Kino Lorber, they probably bought access to like 5 or 6 films, worked on them, and then released them staggered. That way they all don't just come out at once. The Undead of Night. Watched your video where you talked with your kids about movies. What scary movie do you think you will show them first? Well, we tried actually and succeeded a couple weeks ago, right before our vacation. We showed them, my 5 and 6-year-old, Jurassic Park. Now, a lot of people won't say that is a horror movie, but especially when you're 5, Jurassic Park is a pretty scary movie. And they both loved it. I think they're a little more ready for movies than we expected. Obviously, not going to go in showing them something crazy out there right now or anything, but they both handled it very well. No nightmares, nothing like that. They just talked about dinosaurs for 3 days, and I am stoked because I loved that movie so much. That movie came out, I think I was 6 when it released, and I believe I saw it 3 or 4 times that first year, and it is easily one of my favorite movies of all time. Jurassic Park is incredible, and that 4K release is pretty good. John says Kansas City's a great city. I agree. Completely love it here. And also, don't feel bad. Got divorced and struggled for a year. Then now I guess I'm okay, minus child support. Just to shed more light on myself, I'm also divorced. Had been married previously. Ryan says, have you considered archiving your older discs to storage like Plex? I found its dual purpose to preserve and watch physical stuff on my phone at night before bed. I actually have. My big thing, which might be changing soon, I might talk about that in a moment, is I got a disk drive for my computer. And because I work from home, I've kind of been able to put stuff on and either listen to commentaries or if it's in English and I can glance away for a second to look at actual work, uh, I've been able to watch some discs at work. That's how I just highlighted that one. That's how I watched Kid Candidate. I watched it while I was on duty and loved it. Absolutely loved it. That's the perfect type of movie to watch while doing that because you don't need to stare at it. It's a documentary for the most part, and you can understand what's going on. Eric says his TV collection unwatched list is growing. It is a huge time investment. Everybody's talking about Squid Game. I can't even open Netflix. Let's see. Sardis would love to find a boutique label for sci-fi, vintage, and recent. Completely agree there. Let's see. I mean, obviously, we've got some old sci-fi here and there, but yeah, not anything, not anything dedicated to it. I would certainly love to see that. John says these last few years have been so much fun collecting Blu-rays. Reminds me of that 2001 to 5. Yes, deep in the heart of Anchor Bay golden years. So like that was right before Blue Underground started. Yeah, that was a really great time. You got the old deteriorating now skin cover for Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. Yeah, there's so many that absolutely just were perfect in that time frame. And yes, I think we are matching that and probably exceeding it nowadays. Jeff, whoops, got two more back at once. Jeff asked, "Do you use deep discount at all?" To be frank, no. Um, I've used deep discount, I think, four times in my entire life, and one out of the four came to me in good condition at the price that I ordered it. I've had, or no, sorry, five times. I've had two show up damage, and I've had two orders get canceled, and then I've gotten one in good condition. And to me, a 20% hit rate is not enough for me to take the time to even open the website. I literally don't even open the website ever. I know that they've got some good prices, but I would much rather give uh, Diabolic $8 more to ensure that a title comes to me. I'd much rather give uh, Orbit DVD. I think I've bought from two or three times this week. I'd rather give them an extra $9 to make sure that it gets to my door and they're not going to cancel my order. They package everything great. I can't trust that with deep discount. So no, I do not. Eric, you've been talking about Girls with Guns for so long. I need to see them for sure. I would love to, just so I can say I was there when Eric got what he wanted. Mitchell loved Anchor Bay. I mean, they were everything back in the day. They had everything. Feel like everyone slept on the Scream Factory releases of 50 sci-fi. Yes. Gosh, they did a lot. I'm still upset that I think it was a couple of Val Luton titles. They were leaked and they were supposed to come out, or maybe it was the title. They released two Val Luton titles and they sold so poorly that they weren't going to do the second one that they did. Yeah, I'm sad for a lot of those ones. A lot of those movies led to the movies that we have now, like the Interstellar and these massive Dune that most of us are going to watch in the next couple of weeks. Without some of those classic movies like them, or gosh, what was that last one I watched? The Screaming Skull. It's not really sci-fi, I guess, but there's so many that Scream Factory put out that are great. Yes, there's one. Jeff says the Scream Factory release of This Island Earth is great. They did a lot of really good stuff with some of those old titles, and then they just don't sell. So it's kind of hard to keep that love going if nobody's going to buy them. Eric, though, has used deep discount for 20 years without issue. A lot of people have said that. I just can't recommend them personally. And by all means, if you are penny pinching and you get an allowance of $10 and you can get something at deep discount that you wouldn't get elsewhere, by all means, try it. Tom says, when the kids are grown and gone and you're older and retired, you will find you have lots of time to catch up on the movies you never could find time to enjoy while younger. Yeah, I'm sure that's the case, and that's what I'm counting on. Um, I just realized I never fully answered the question about, let's see, who had asked it? Ryan, about archiving my older discs. So I had considered it. I got really lucky. There is a school district here locally that had been upgrading their IT equipment. I was friends with one of their IT guys, and they were done with a really old commercial grade server rack. And because they're a school district and public funded, they can't sell it. They had to give it away, and they were just going to dump it. So he called me and said, "Hey, I can grab this for you. Do you want it?" And I'm not going to turn down a full server rack. So I've got a full commercial grade server rack in my sub basement that I am waiting to buy some hard drives for. Unfortunately, storage is so expensive. I'm just waiting for something to come down. Everything that has hit the tech sector over the last couple of years has just risen the prices so much. Where a good, reliable terabyte or 2 terabyte drive, it's just expensive. And unfortunately, when you've got like a lot of Blu-rays and 4Ks, they take up a lot of space, especially when you want the extras. Because I definitely do. I try to watch as many of the extras as I can. Yes, John. At least Warner Archive helped with more loot, and I agree. Retro Rob, great question here. Is there a way to guarantee of getting slipcovers when you order? I never get them from Amazon. So there are 2 points with that. First off, the question is, are you talking about Scream Factory? If you are, and I will assume that you are, there are two things. One is understand Shout Factory guarantees slipcover from any retailer for the first 3 months. Now, there are times when they accidentally when they accidentally send them out without slipcovers, like Grindhouse Video has gotten them without slipcovers before, and they will notify Shout, and Shout will send Grindhouse just slipcovers to replace them. But most people don't realize you're allowed to do that too, because their collector's editions are guaranteed to have slipcovers for the first 3 months. If you get something from Amazon in the first 3 months and it doesn't have one, you can contact Shout Factory and they will send you one. The other thing is Amazon's not just pulling from a giant stack of, Event Horizon Blu-rays and sending them out across the country. Each of their hubs have a pile of Event Horizon Blu-rays, and they are grabbing from there to send it to you locally. So if you live like in Los Angeles, the odds are more people bought them there than from my hub in Kansas City. So I would be more likely to get a slipcover for longer than if you lived in LA. So if you live near a busy hub, unfortunately, your chances are going to go down quite a lot. You can shop from places like Orbit, DVD, or Grindhouse Video that both advertise when they have the slipcover. Other than that, it's kind of a difficult thing. But there's also a lot of Facebook groups that you can join to make sure that you're staying up to date, or you can trade or buy about them. So, yeah, there's lots of things to do. Brian says, didn't David Gregory from Severin work for Anchor Bay with Bill Lustig of Blue Underground? Yes, they both worked at Blue Underground, and I believe somebody from it might be the guy from Synapse also worked there. There is like a handful of people that worked at at Anchor Bay that all started their own boutique label. So Anchor Bay, we are literally all still supporting Anchor Bay through the many fingers that they've launched out into the boutique. What's going on? Flip is here now, probably only for about 20 seconds as he needs to go make a pizza. Ryan says, excellent pickup on the rack. Just be patient setting it up and possibly consider an OS other than WinServer if it's going to be dedicated for Plex. So far, all I'm using it for, because storage was so expensive, I went and hardwired my entire house. So I am housing a handful of what is the brand? I can't think of it for some reason. Ubiquiti. I've got some Ubiquiti items going throughout my entire house, so I've got decent Wi-Fi coverage everywhere. John says, I love how Orbit gets a lot of titles early. Not only them, Cinema Classics, if you are into them, Cinema Classics gets a lot of stuff early that MVD distributes. So Severin, Kino, Arrow, and a couple other smaller labels in the US, they get them very, very quickly. Tom is looking for a Blu-ray of Target Earth. I don't have that one. Don May worked at Image Elite. That's right. Man, so who else was it? I feel there was. I don't think it was John Lyons. There's some others that were from Anchor Bay, but I think there's 3 or 4 that Anchor Bay just exploded into these other labels. Let's see. All right, I think I'm caught up. Anything else comes to mind? Let me know. Open book. Happy to help. Happy to show anything off. I can go through a handful of pickups. I certainly don't want to be boring or annoying. I really hate the whole look what I got type of thing, but mentioned this one earlier. I think it was John that mentioned this. Old from M. Night Shyamalan. I honestly love M. Night Shyamalan. I cannot wait to see this. The gentleman, what is his name? Alex Wolff, who is also in Hereditaries in this. I think that this is divisive, just like a lot of Shyamalan films, and there's nothing wrong with that. John, you might be right. I think at least, is it Jeff? Not Jeff. Cliff. One of the two from Scream Factory. I think they also worked in Anchor Bay. I think you're absolutely right. I think I showed this one earlier as well. This is the new Apocalypse Now 4K Steelbook. One thing, I just got this in. Let me take this off and show you. If you don't have this yet, this is available now exclusive at Best Buy. And there's a really cool little thing on the side that they didn't advertise they were doing. Taking off the sleeve here, that's got it printed. There's the inside art. But check this out. If you turn the Steelbook on to the little hinge, there's a little typing in there that says first pressing. Kind of a cool touch. You don't see a lot of these from whoops, holding it upside down. Don't see a lot of these from studios with something like that. So I am glad. And this does still have a digital copy. And speaking of digital copies, I was going to wait to say anything, but I'm going to give away another digital copy in just a few. So if you're interested in that, there's one coming. I also got the much maligned 4K of Inglourious Bastards. Yeah, not much to say on that. A lot of people are saying the scan is awful. Not that it looks terrible, just that it looks about the same as the Blu-ray. I'll judge that. I mean, it's got a HDR, so at least that'll be something. I love the coloring they do on some of those releases. Let's see. Also just came in while I was gone, the newest Fangoria with Halloween Kills on the front, and they have not done this on the new second run of Fangoria, but inside came with a decent poster. And if you love Halloween Kills, this is perfect. And then, let's see. Brian says, Flip and Disconnected have a stream on Tuesday nights, and it's very entertaining. Flip goes unhinged at times, and it's magical. And Flip says, oh, man, that's sexy. Yes, we are doing our show every Tuesday night. This last week, it was rough because I was driving, but we will be back next Tuesday. Flip says, what's wrong with the 4K? Yeah, supposedly just looks like the Blu-ray. Yeah, Flip does drink way too many energy drinks. The other thing that is kind of unconventional that I got this last week is I got in a shirt from being a part of the Patreon for Darcy the Mail Girl for Joe Bob Briggs. I think you get this after 3 or 4 months of supporting. Gotta love Joe Bob. So stoked to see that. And let's see some deeper stuff. The Target buy 2 get 1 sale was movies and books this last time. And one of the things I got was the Green Knight book to go with it. I did not have a copy of the poem, so I'm glad to have this. and this will go great with my new 4K release of The Green Knight. If you have not seen this, highly recommend The Green Knight. This movie is incredible. One thing that Flip has said about this is the most realistic cum he's seen in a real movie, and I gotta admit it's pretty realistic. This movie is incredible. If you know anything about this poem going into it, you will understand that it is a really well made film. They really go deep and really pay off for the people that have been familiar with this poem, all the way back from high school. Flip, I knew what you meant. I was just messing with you. Yeah, The Apocalypse Now is a really nice steelbook. Speaking of The Green Knight, that is the digital code I'm going to give away. So if you're ready, you're going to go to lionsgate.com/redeem, and I'm going to give you the code as I get a couple of these other things to show off. Lionsgate.com/redeem. We're going to do this real time, and if you get the code and you want it, please only put it in if you're not going to buy it. But yeah, if you want Green Knight, by all means, let's try. Here we go. The code for the Green Knight at lionsgate.com/redeem. The letter C as in Charlie, T as in Tom, the number 86, letter F as in Frank, C as in Charlie, A as in Adam, X as in X-ray, A as in Adam, the number 0, the letter G as in George, and then the rest of these are all numbers, so get ready. 21683. 21683. If you get it, please comment that you got it. Thank you. Just trying to give back to the people that are here hanging out for a long time. Brian is too old and slow for this. Free copy of The Green Room came from the 4K release, so hopefully this redeems in 4K. There is the code again, so you can see. And when somebody says they've got it, I'm going to rip this up. I hope somebody got it. While we wait, I'll go on a few more. I already got in from Scream, or Shout, I guess. Nothing But Trouble. Definitely need to rewatch this one. It's been many, many years. I had the old DVD, and it was awful. And I don't think this is a new scan, but yeah, I didn't really expect it on this one, to be honest. What else came in this week? From Massacre Video, I finally got, don't know how they are pronouncing this when speaking on it, TFW No GF, or That Feeling When No Girlfriend. This is the documentary on incels. What's funny is I got this in, and because it's distributed from the same place, it came with an Intervision sticker in the box with the Severin peanuts. So that was fun. Yeah, this is one I'm certainly interested in seeing. From what I hear, there's some controversial takes, which is always nice. I saw, been speaking on redemption films quite a lot on the channel recently, actually. Just got in, because it was very on sale on Amazon, The Cinema of Jean Rollin, The Vampire Collection. Now, this has The Nude Vampire, The Shiver of the Vampire, The Rape of the Vampire, and Requiem for a Vampire. And this has all 4 titles in a nice box. And you can see all the spines are numbered, and they don't all go in order. So how do you add this to the collection properly if you're doing by spine numbers? This will be an interesting one, but glad I have it, and it was very cheap. I think this is still on sale. Man, still nobody said that they got that digital copy. Hopefully somebody tried to get it. Let me know if you do, please. Makeflix, we just talked about them with announcements. They just Sardis says how much. Let me see. I paid few. Let's see. It is $43 now. And the order was for yeah, that's right about where it was. It was about 41. It had been a lot more expensive than 43. So the price that it's at is a pretty good price, I would say. Uh, like I mentioned, MakeFlix, we had an announcement from them this week, but they had just recently put out Sons of Steel, and this one sounded fantastic. Looks cheesy as all get out. This is the heavy metal futuristic action-packed adventure. Sons of Steel is set in the 21st century Sydney, Australia. Black Alice, rock star and man of peace, is trapped by the fascist government and accidentally transported into the future to witness the results of nuclear devastation. His grim discovery that he is directly responsible leads him to travel back from the future to save mankind from destruction. Sounds fun. Why not? The other one, because I wanted to get free shipping that I got from them, was their recently announced Teenage Exorcist with a second feature of The Channeler. Now, one thing that came with this that was really cool is this autographed insert of Brink Stevens. So yeah, got that in from MakeFlix. But the big, in this box at least, the big crown jewel is, oh nice, Flip just got Sabata in and more Shaw Brothers. Flip is going on a Shaw Brothers terror right now. The big one in this box, like I was about to say, Columbia Classics Volume 2. All of these in 4K. I love these collections. This is kind of on sale right now for like $106. And if you don't have the first one or you're interested in this one, the first one, I will remind you, went down to about 105, 106, and then went out of print very quickly. So if you're interested, now could be one of the last couple weeks to get this. If more people are into physical media now, I don't see this waiting super long. And because people are not buying this, they sometimes just want the 4K digital code. There are places you can sell the 4K copies online and make up, see, I think there are 6 titles in here. You can probably sell the digital codes for about $10 each and make up more than half of the cost of this whole set. If that's not your thing and you just want the physical media. Oh, Mitchell, I agree. I can't wait to see Oliver in 4K. That, and I got to be honest, I love The Social Network. I'm so stoked they put that one in here. All right. So all that is from one box. I don't want to just sit here and show everything off, but I will keep going if people are into it. I've got a lot that was waiting on me when I came home. That is heavier than I was ready for. Some of these I haven't even seen yet. I don't even know what they are. I just had to put some boxes in another box together. I don't even know what some of these are from. Okay, so this is, I think this is an order from Diabolic in this little pouch here. And we've got, I'm going to go kind of quickly, Viva from Kino. Stoked to watch that one. I finally got in The Dark from MVD Rewind. Eric and Flip says keep going, so you got it. Another Kino in 4K, Misery. This one is on the October watch along. This is the version I'm going to be watching this week. Then we finally got in Dementia 13 from Vestron. Another Kino 4K, beautiful Silence of the Lambs. These Kino 4Ks are getting glowing results and or not results, reviews. I'm a little tired still. Can't wait to see them. Let's see, what is the next thing? Oh, I totally forgot this was in here. So I'm in a Facebook group, talked about this before, where there are raffles, and I don't win a lot, but I didn't even really want to win this one. I just wanted to support somebody that had always supported me. So I threw my name in, and I won and got to choose. And I had some of the other things that they had in there, but I didn't have a really nice steelbook of this release. And I think this is This is another premium company that I'm going to be able to speak on for my boutique labels that I collect. This is the first one that I have from him, and not from him, from them, and I don't even remember the company name offhand. I have to look it up after. This is Dunkirk with a lenticular cover. Wow, that actually is coming across really good there. And look at the size of this thing. This has everything in here. This entire thing is huge. Pulling it out the side. Wow, that is a thick box, thicker than most Aero packaging even. And this has, whew, oh, this is from the UHD Club, something from, I think, Korea. All kinds of stuff in here. So we've got oh geez, I didn't even know all this was in here. So all this is a pouch, and it houses all of this. We've got a poster here, and then oh wow, that's going to be nice on here. Another lenticular that is framed that you can put up on like a desk, and then this is the envelope that it came in. Sarda says he liked the original Dunkirk better. I honestly can't really argue with you there. I do think that this one was pretty decent. I don't think it's Nolan's best movie. I will say it was a really good one to see in the theater. If you don't have a really great sound system, this is one that does really well in Atmos with, sound up high and full surround on everything. Let's see what else is in here. More of the J-card packaging. They've got this little textured collector card to show that I've got number 24 of 128. There's so much here. Flip, come on. Mitchell said, Dunkirk made my brother's Atmos system boom, though I haven't watched it myself. It's a great one. All right, Jeff, have a good night, man. Thanks for hanging out. I know it's late. Wow. Another lenticular art card from Dunkirk. There's so much in this. And another lenticular art card. And then we have a book on the making of Dunkirk. And this one is in English, which is nice. And it's got some production photos. Pretty neat. And then the actual release. This is embossed, as you can see there. That's raised from the plane. And then opening it up, I honestly thought this was a steelbook, and it's not. It's a digipack. Either way, great release. Don't necessarily need it to be a steelbook because there is so much here. My goodness. Make sure I get it all in here. Some of these premiums are crazy to put everything away. But I think when I entered the raffle, I think it was for like $4. It's pretty great. Put that one to the side and open this box up a little further. Oh, here's some more other unconventional things. I've got something that I pre-ordered oh gosh, I think I ordered these in June of 2020 to add to the movie room, and one of them got delayed. I'll show the one that wasn't delayed first. This is the Scream Ghostface Ultimate action figure from NECA. And that's not going to show up very well on camera, is it? Nope. Got all kinds of those there. But then the one that was delayed is Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood Jason Ultimate. There it is. This one is awesome. So many great details in here. It's got the weed whacker and everything. Hate when stuff like that gets delayed. The rest of the Target buy two get one sale, got some random pickups. I got James Franco and Megan Fox in Zeroville from MVD. This is one I believe Eric mentioned that he loved it. I hope Eric's still there. I got Deliver Us from Evil. This is one that I've had on my wish list for quite some time. I so many people crapped on the first movie of this. I genuinely liked it, and I think, like I mentioned earlier, I love the mystery aspect of things. I loved Escape Room, so I had to get the sequel, Escape Room Tournament of Champions. And something interesting, they have the extended cut in here, which is 25 minutes longer. And now the question, supposedly, is it changes the ending of the film and the beginning. And the question is, if there's another sequel, do they follow the cut that they showed in theaters, or do they follow the cut that is only on home media that changes it? And supposedly the home media cut is much better. Yeah, honestly, really excited to see the sequel. I know it's probably not going to be amazing, but either way. Also got Snatch on 4K finally. Really glad, love that film. From Kino, I got CB4. I love Chris Rock. I love Chris Elliott. This is a classic if you've never seen it. Hilarious film. One that was also on my wish list for a long time. Finally got $1 Million Mystery from Kino. Again, love the mystery films. Love stuff like Rat Race. This is going to be good. Because Flip hyped it so much for me, I had to get Dynasty in Super 3D. Really need to see this, but I hope he's still there and listening. This is one that's supposed to be great. Kino does really good when they put out some 3D. The 3D Film Archive helped with this. And then from Shout Factory, because they reprinted these, I think, finally, I got their release of The Stepfather. Stoked that I finally have this one. It's a great movie. It's got some really good moments. I kind of surprised we don't have a good release of the sequels for this either. Hope we get those eventually. And there's still more, man. There's too many. Going away for a week is rough. Oh, and Flip is there. Good, he saw it. Undead Night. Do you keep your Blu-rays when you buy the newer 4K? That really depends. If it's got all these same features, generally no, unless it's from a label that I'm a sad sack that I have all of the releases from certain labels. So things like They Live from Scream Factory. I have 3 releases of They Live just from Scream Factory, and that's not even all of the copies of They Live that I own. So sometimes I keep them, other times definitely not. As with, let's see, Silence of the Lambs, I do have the Criterion one, and I don't think they have all the same features. So I may keep that one because it's honestly, it's one of the films that I genuinely love. Silence of the Lambs is a favorite. I love that whole series a lot more than most people. So I might keep that. Haven't decided yet. Let's see. This one is from today, and I think this is from Diabolic. I took the labels off just in case, so I didn't show them on screen. No, yep, this is Diabolic. So, from Unearthed Films, even though I've tried most of his films and have not loved them yet, this is Star Vehicle from Ryan Nicholson. This is the, let's see, I believe this is the 2-disc edition. Let me open this up. The last one I watched from Ryan Nicholson was Hanger, and a lot of people were stoked on that one and praising it. I did not love it. I think it was a fairly pointless film. The absurdity didn't really bother me, but it was it was not great. The other one in here, like I alluded to earlier, Demons 1 and 2, the Synapse 4K. This, I've already got the 4K from Arrow, but some of the special features on here are worth it, at least for me, if you're that type of a fan of these movies. Tom says, I find that most of the time I get an extended cut, I can see why it was cut. That makes sense unless it was censorship. If it was studio cuts, a lot of the time I agree with you, but other times doesn't make sense. But This one that I'm about to show was one that was cut by the studio, and I'm glad that they changed the ending, because the ending we got in the film, I do think is a better ending. But I finally got the second sight release of Paranormal. You can see the you can see the lights on my ceiling there. Paranormal Activity. I love this film. This first one is great. I honestly like the first three Paranormal Activities, I think. This one is genuinely a great movie. I love this one. I don't know if my sister is still there, but a fun story from back in the day. I was watching this movie with my first wife and both of my sisters and somebody else, and I had a friend text me saying he was going to come over, and I told him I was showing my sister's Paranormal Activity, and we had a back door that could open to a sliding door into my bedroom. And I told him to come in the back door. And when you hear the bass get loud, because it's Paranormal Activity and it warns you when there's a scare, I told him to go and slam the door multiple times in my bedroom. And it worked out perfectly. One of my sisters literally leaped up and ran and jumped on my lap. Hilarious. We'll never forget that. Super funny. Okay. I do have a Kino order that I could open, but I don't think I'm going to. And I'll explain later on that one. It might get its own video is what I'm getting at. I do have 3 boxes here. Sorry if that's loud. Oof. Three boxes from Scream Factory that you just heard me open. One of them, and I don't even know which one this is yet. Deadly Friend. This is a Wes Craven film. Finally on Blu-ray. So many people have wanted this for a long time. The inside is shrink wrapped. The slipcover was not, thankfully. I wish they would do that for all of them. And it did come with the poster and a whole bunch of the Shout Factory wrapping paper. I love the way they've been loud again. Sorry. Love the way they've been using that to ship better since about 2017 or 18 when they did the thing. Undead of Night says the director's cut of Exorcist 3 is a good example of extended cut being unnecessary. There are a lot of examples of that. Completely agree. Okay, the next one from Scream. If I'm guessing right, I think this is Elvira. And if John's still there, this is my first time seeing the hard box on any of these new releases. So I am stoked to finally have one of these. And it is Elvira's Haunted Hills. There's been all kinds of unboxings on these, so I probably won't show a whole bunch. But yes, these are hard slip cases. They do not have slip covers, but there's the knock test. They are good, solid boxes. Interesting the way that they have that printed on there. But hey, corners all look decent. Can't complain. And as you'll see here, this has an autographed version of this poster. And I will definitely be getting that one framed. And now, Jesus, the big boy. I have not opened these yet, obviously. You are seeing it here with me for the first time. But again, a whole bunch of other people on YouTube and all across the world have unboxed these and complained about them already. It was a cheeky little dig at everybody else. Let me see how this box even opens. Jesus. Sorry for all the shaking. I had this. Oh. Thankfully, nothing fell. Wow, that's why. So that is really nice. Look at this. There is the entire set in a really nice Scream box. Man, okay. I wasn't expecting to dive deep into this, but we're going to, because this is way nicer than I thought it was going to be. So first we have Something mounted to it? What is going on here? Ooh, taped. The Halloween collectible enamel pin set. There is the back of that box. Nice. Mitchell says he framed his autograph. Glad you got it. Those went fairly quickly. Then we have Halloween 1 vinyl box. Let me get this open. Here is the sleeve, just like the John Carpenter ones they've done before. Undead, the autograph is hand signed by Miss Cassandra herself. It is not stamped. There is the inside of the vinyl, and you can see some really nice coloring on it. Get that back in there. And then, of course, other than the vinyl, that box, oh man, can't get that back in there. Thrilling TV, sorry. Other than the vinyl, the box also had behind it Halloween in 4K. And just like Elvira, all 5 of these are coming in one of these hard boxes. I mean, everybody hated this art when it got announced, and so many people are loving it now. I think it's really good. I honestly never understood the hate for it. Flip, I got to be honest. I saw Cassandra Peterson at a con in 2019. She still looks incredible. Honestly, just one of the best from the genre. I am stoked that she's still doing stuff like this. She absolutely could have just went into hiding, but no, she's great. Here is the vinyl box for Halloween 2, again with the colors of my lights in the background. Halloween 2 on the back. This is from Sacred Bones. Here is the 4K box inside. I'm going to have to change the way I show my Scream Factory vinyl now, because I went from 3 to 6 of them. And on the Halloween 2, it's the same coloring. I believe all of them have the same coloring. It's really nice work on it. And then number 3 with the greatest art on the box of the jack-o'-lantern head. Oh, that's a cool color on there. And then inside, of course, the 4K. And here is the vinyl. Yep, same color on the vinyl. Not going to pull it out. It's the same art with the jack-o'-lantern. Then, because they did not get vinyl releases, on the other side of the box, we also have the 4K boxes for Halloween 4 and the 4K box for Nicolas Cage himself and Halloween 5. And the big thing, again, is that this has the Dr. Death footage, and I can't wait to watch it. Also came with all 5 posters in one tube. Crazy. Oh, man. I made a mess. Yes, Dave. Cassandra Peterson did just turn 70. And, oh, this might be loud on stream. Sorry. Going to drop that big box. Oh, where is it? Oh, there it is. Last stream from home, I shared this. Yours cruelly, Elvira. If you really like Elvira, this is a great time. This just came out by this. Real deep dive into who she is, how she got to where she was, everyone she worked with. And I need to start reading it now that I'm home. Oh, nice. Tom got The Green Knight. He's gonna watch it after the show. Perfect. It's a beautiful movie. I hope you enjoy it. Dev Patel is fantastic in it. Really, really pretty to look at the entire film. The Green Knight himself is imposing and really well done. Um, that being said, the only thing I have left is a Kino box, and I'm gonna wait because I have one other Kino box coming in. Yeah, because I'm an idiot and went back into the sale twice. Look at that. Mitchell got the book at Barnes and Noble. Yeah, I've been seeing it everywhere. I got my copy from Orbit one time because I could only find two movies I wanted. So I made that my third item to get free shipping. Other than that, I've got nothing new to show. Um, any other questions about me, about the channel, about the collection, any release you want to see up close, or any of these Halloween films? Let's see, I could probably open one of these to look at deep dive at them. I had planned on doing that tonight anyways. Cut a little slit in the top here. Thanks everybody who's hung out for a long one so far. We're almost 2 hours 45 minutes. That's pretty good for just one person talking. Hope you guys have been having fun. It's been a good stream. Here it is up close without the cellophane reflecting for you, and a little side loading case, and hope you can see the quality there. It's not super thick, but it's that's what she said. It's pretty thick. And then on the inside, nice 4K case. Unfortunately, that feels like an eco case to me already. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, not at all. And there's what we got on the inside. We got a 4K disc and a Blu-ray disc of Halloween 5. Beautiful. Love it. All right. Undead says his first reconnected, interesting and fun. Thanks. We do this every Thursday about 8:30, right on the dot. As soon as I get home from helping my kid with Cub Scouts, we sit here and talk. We go over all the announcements of the week, and we're a little light on announcements this week. We should be picking up over the next couple of weeks, but don't expect anything crazy because things usually slow down for the end of the year. But after those, then we talk about what's coming out the next week, do maybe some collection updates, talk about sales, anything else people want. We're here for the ride. But if that's it, I don't think I have anything else novel to share. If there's no more questions, we might call it a night. It's 11:15 here. I'm still on vacation till Monday. So I've got some watching to do over the next few days. Definitely need to watch Dune. Definitely need to catch up. I'm certainly glad that one of my kids has school tomorrow still, so I can stay home and watch a couple while he's at school. I've got that charity gig on Saturday, like I said, running DJ, and had to write a game of trivia. So I'm running that on Saturday. I actually, speaking of trivia, my sister here, I ran over trivia last week with her as my get ready for what's coming up on Saturday. Tom says, appreciate you sharing personal info. Nice to know who I'm spending time with. Happily. That's why I'm here. Sardis hopes I bought Soldier Blue from Kino. I don't remember if I did. Let me see. Maybe I already had it. The amount of Kino titles, though, it's embarrassing. There are way too many. I don't think I did this time. Let me see if I already got it. Look at that, going straight to the Blu-ray.com app that we talked about earlier to see if I got it. Soldier Blue. I do not have it. Are you going to make me go back in for a third time, Sardis? I'll take a look at it. All right, everybody. It's late. I hope you've had fun. I've had fun. It's been a nice long stream. If you got anything else for next week that you'd like to bring up, send me a message, send me a comment, something. We'll talk about it. I should have another video being posted here in the next few days on the actual channel that's not a live one. Dave says music or movie trivia. I'm doing 8 rounds of trivia, with one of them being a music round, and actually one of them is an audio pop culture round that is perfect for our channel. That is all based on horror movies for them to be able to recognize audio. They're super obvious, especially for fans like us, but it'll be nice. The other 6 rounds are all general spoken word trivia. I'm doing a big show at a winery for I think it's 17 teams of about 10 to 12 people. It's going to be a lot for sure. Bunch of rich people that are all there focusing on first responders. Stoked on it though. It'll be a nice change of pace. It's a big change away from my regular day job. You too, Flip. Hope you get some rest. I know that you work way too much. Flip has been trying to have me watch all of the Lone Wolf and Cub movies for about what feels like 4 years, but it's only been about 2.5 months. I will watch them eventually, I promise. There's just too many trashter pieces that I want to watch now. I know that the Lone Wolf and Cub movies will be great when I get to them, and someday I will. Maybe I'll wait so that you and I can watch the first one together. I'm still hoping you can come out after Thanksgiving. All right. I think that's all I've got. Uh, as usual, thanks for hanging out. It's been a long stream. Thanks for being with me. Thanks for caring. Thanks for being subscribed to the channel. Thanks for getting your name in for the Thing Steelbook. Share the channel with as many people as you can. Let us grow. I love hanging out like this. Love all the names that we get in here. So, as I always say, from one collector to all of you, hope you have a great night. Hope you have a good weekend, and appreciate you all. Till next time. See ya.